So what's hot is Allie's getting bigger and bigger by the second. You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Did you just say you're getting bigger and bigger by the second? That's weird.
Yeah. She's like growing up every second.
Oh, Callie. I'm sorry. I thought you said
Yes.
I'm getting bigger and bigger by the second.
No, not me, Callie.
Okay, good.
And then what I appreciate is arriving here safely.
Good. Me too. Antoine and Devil D.
What's hot? I just started reading the 4 Agreements, so that's pretty hot. And what do I appreciate? Colombia qualifying for the World Cup.
Nice. Yeah. Same with the U.S. Oh wait. Is it too soon? It's too soon. It's too soon. The Maryland Terrapins, number 3 in the country, won last night, 5-4 over Wisconsin. That's positive. U.S. soccer, not so much. Okay, David Delgado. On that note.
What's honest, our pilot's kicking our pilot. We have great staff that's developing and that's learning. I really do appreciate also the support given to me by our young staff.
Outstanding. Thank you, sir. We'll go over this way. We'll go to Eddie and around the horn. Yeah.
So at least what's hot is that prep is here in Tallahassee, so right there in the hometown.
Whose house?
My house. Our house.
What I appreciate is just some of the conversations I've been having recently and the people supporting me through things.
Good. It's Ross.
What's hot is, like Brandon said, the Tampa office just launched its 7 sets, pretty sure. Yeah. And I would finally get going. And then what I appreciate is my parents living.
There you go. Yeah. Thanks for letting me come home, Mom. Yeah. Don't take that for granted, because there's going to come a point in an age, I'm pointing to myself, where you go back and your childhood room is no longer your room, and you say, "What the heck?"
Yeah.
And there's no shame about it. And that's Louis' room now. Excuse me. That's a very shocking part of my 20s.
Yeah, my turn to get.
Yeah. Amelie.
Okay. What's on is Agnes had like a fundraiser yesterday, and we raised a lot of money for recording this year.
Outstanding.
What I appreciate is my cat.
Wonderful. What's your cat's name?
Cheese.
Cheese?
Yep.
Cheese.
My cat's name was Meow.
Oh, really?
Yeah, get it? Okay. Thank you for sharing. Miss Maddie.
What's hot is we've been already interviews and selling. And I just really appreciate all of you guys.
Appreciate you too. Dalila Kolar.
What's hot is Tony Robbins. I love Tony Robbins. Yes.
Like, do you think he's hot?
Yeah.
I insinuated that. Are you having a little man crush on Mr. Robbins?
For like a 50-year-old.
I know. I agree.
I appreciate this circle of influence as compared to some of the circle of influences I'm like exposed to. This is definitely a really good one, and like it really gets me back in the right mindset. So
I agree. Right? Managers need a prep too, right? Managers need a conference too. So leaders need coaches too. JP.
So what's hot is I'm starting to get my morning routine on point, and what I appreciate is my circle of influence.
Me too. Welcome. Good to see you. Sean in the back.
What's hot is Olympics coming up, so excited for that.
Yes.
And what I appreciate is medicine. So I've been pretty sick.
Wonderful. Stay away from me, and I'm grateful to see you. Thank you. Ms. Kirsten.
What is hot is this week's over. It's one of like the hardest weeks I've had for school thus far. So I'm glad it's over. And what I appreciate is kind of getting used to my morning routine and seeing it like make a difference.
Good, and we'll talk about that today. Good. Ms. Rhiannon, welcome. Hi.
What I appreciate is I had bison steak for the last time, or for the first time yesterday.
Super lean.
Okay.
So,
Super lean.
Did Grant hear that?
Bison. Did you hear that, Graham?
Oh, yeah.
Bison.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry. All right. If you're watching this NLG recording out in Vectorland, just remember the last name Strayer and Bison. That's all you need to know.
and then with hot, we're about to have our 10th meeting in Tampa and business.
Outstanding. Yeah, you guys are building it pretty fast there. It's outstanding. Nice work. It's great to see the group chat. I'm on all the group chats. It's good to see. Really exciting to see how things are going across the division. We'll go. Luke.
What's hot? Jamaica was hot. It was fun.
I appreciate the random dude that called me before this morning.
That's cool. Thank you, random dude from Publix for Uber.
No, yeah, there were,
Before that.
I had like 3 random people call me Uber, so I'm glad that I'm here.
Yeah, and you know, through all that debacle,
Here in a suit.
you're here early. I like it.
I'm back from
New Jersey. Andrew, you're up. Wrap us up.
What's hot is prep, and it's nice to have the whole crew here. What I appreciate is our session yesterday.
Yeah, me too. I had a really good time. I was actually talking to Heidi about it all night last night. It was cool. All right. So, with that being said, Andrew and I got a chance to go to the Edison. That was cool. And then we went underneath for the cafe at the Edison, did some work there. And last night was called Recess. We were on top of that table. What was that called? Is that where we were last night? Recess? That bar we were at? Recess? We were at Recess last night on top of the table. Eddie was pouring the... I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. We don't do that. Hey, here's what I want to get started with, okay? I want to turn things up differently. For opening comments today, I'm going to share a Gamboa story during general session that I shared for SLC. Blessed with the opportunity to speak several times at our national conference. I taught our DVMs the United Way. That's actually a nonprofit, isn't it? The United Way. It is. You know, I taught them the United Way of developing branch and assistant and district champions, and this is part 2. It was awesome. It was great to see. What I really love is doing it the second year in a row and seeing how it sticks, and more importantly, how our diabolical plan for scaling our TLA program to 2019 is already in full effect. It's awesome. Even more blessed, I feel, was my opportunity to wind up the conference. I got to wrap up our national conference. It was fun. I told 3 Gamboa stories. 2 of them, you know, the blood pressure story and Heidi's engagement, and one that none of you know yet, and I'll share it with you today. And it was fun. I got a chance to teach, got a chance to inspire. They're not used to Gamboa energy, but about I don't know, 40 to 60% of that group doesn't know me at all. Doesn't know me from, what's the saying? Doesn't know me from that or Abe or Adam from Eve or Mark or Cyrus. Yes. So I want to share one of the things I shared to the group or shared with the company is that there's gifts and there are gifts and lessons in everything that we do. Okay. The challenge and what I'm going to talk about today is, but how do you respond? How do you think? Everything's navigated through how do we process things and what do we believe in them? You guys know that. So what I want to do real quick, just to start off, I'd like you to take 2 to 3 minutes, and then at the top it says 2 to 3 gifts / challenges. Whatever your role was in summer 17, at the top, I want you to write down role, and then the name of your role. PSM, 3-time branch, 2-time branch, full-time assistant, part-time assistant. And I want you to write down in detail, right? Like describe it, or if you have a phrase that will help describe it, like the pilot you'll appreciate the no training manual seminar. Like that would be known as the, yeah, something like that. I want you to write down top 3 challenges you encountered in your role this summer. It can be an episode specific. It can be something you were dealing with personally as you were an assistant branch, district, 2nd year branch, 3rd year branch. Just we're going to take 3 to 7 minutes, or maybe even longer, just in a way that you could look at it and recommunicate that episode, that challenge to someone else. And we're going to share in a bit. And try not to share in a way that's going to bias someone to put yours down, but exclusively to you. If I said, hey, I'm going to sit that Kirsten 101, I know I have my list, and I just mentioned that training because that was one of the challenging moments for me. What are the three episodes? If you could rank the 3 highest ones, that'd be best. Because I doubt we're limited to 3 challenges. I doubt. So what were 3 challenges? Yeah, what are 3 challenges? Ideally, the 3 biggest challenges you dealt with this summer. And don't limit it exclusively to something that happened. It can be something you went through or trying to navigate around. Really try and think about the 3 biggest challenges in your branch as the assistant, in Tally, in the pilot, in Metro Miami, in Fort Myers. Another minute. Try to summarize. Okay. All right. Not a thumbs up. Give me your 4th finger up if you're done. Or pinky. We'll do pinky. That's too close to the middle finger. If you're done, give me your. Okay. How about over there? Yeah. Danny, come on, pinky. Let's go. There you go. No, pinky. There you go. You're done. Okay. All right, cool. Look at Soleil. Now, next to each one, these are the 3 things I'd like you to think about and write down some notes on. How did you handle it? Right? Not how should you have, not how would you prefer to have handled it. How did you handle it? And then, ready? After that, looking back, what would the best version, the best train, the best you, how would you have handled it differently? Or would it have been the same? So how did you handle that challenge? And would you have done it the same way? Or how would you have handled it looking back now? A better way to handle it. What would have been the best way to handle it? Do that for each one of those 3, please. How did you handle it? How would you handle it differently now? Looking back. You could talk to the 2017 summer you and say, hey, let's handle it this way instead. Or, hey, you did a great job. How did you handle it? What was your response or reaction in some cases? How did you handle it? How did you respond? Or if it wasn't great, how did you react? And how would you do it over? And then the very last thing when you're done, let's go through those 3 again, those 3 challenges, those 3 lessons. And what's the gift? AKA, what's the lesson in that challenge? What's the gift or lesson in that challenge? What is the gift or lesson in having gone through that challenge? What is the gift and or challenge? I'm going through that lesson.
What is this?
Give me another minute. Okay. You guys okay in virtual land? All done? Okay, what I'd like you to do is pair up. And let's see here. So Brandon and Tyler over there. David, why don't you FaceTime Soleil? Okay. And then Antoine and Maggie. Why don't you FaceTime Grant? That'd be fun. Rhea and Luke. Sean and Andrew. Dalila, JP. Alex and Eddie. And then actually we'll switch up. I want the same office. I'll have you guys should say two of you and then Amelie and JP and then what did I say over here? You guys have a partner? Yeah, okay. So here's what I'd like you to do. Okay, get with your partner or you FaceTime your partner, and I want you to share one of your three, your biggest challenge, and then go down the row. How did you respond or react if it wasn't good? How would you do it differently? What was the gift? Each share one. If you have time, share a second one. Cool? Any questions? All right, let's
say, hey, I'm gonna get 15.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up. Wrap up your last few comments.
I head out and have a goal to accomplish the rest of the day. And then, like,
Wrap it up.
like I said, it all goes back down to like, the biggest surprise on my first summer was like I didn't do that great. I had no idea what I was doing. So I was 140. So like really aggressive. And like anytime I was in opposition, I could do it. So, like if I got an interview, you ended early, something like show up, boom, piece of class, move, like something else, call people. Like I was always.
All right, let's wrap it up.
So if you approach the mentality with the same stuff.
Your little twiddle fingers to your partner. Little twiddle fingers to your partner. Little twiddle fingers. There you go.
Like when you're in the office, right? Basically.
Actually, that's from an old movie. Pauly Shore. You guys know Pauly Shore? You get too young for that one.
No, you should do this one next time. No, that's wrong, right?
Okay. Brandon Soleil Grant, we good to go? Over there? Okay, here's what I'd like to do. Let's share, shall we? So I would like you to share. Does anyone feel like they have a good challenge they'd like to share of their partners, not yours? So who felt like there's some interesting lessons from the partners? Well, Sean, what did you learn? And
Well, what was interesting is because I had Andrew as a partner, he's been doing it a while. Like the difference between his challenges and mine. One of his is like scaling faster, like scaled really fast, but promoting the AM that they needed at the beginning of the summer to like having at high school. So like for him, it was like scaling like really fast.
and how did he initially handle the challenge?
Well, he didn't have enough like assistant managers, like AMIs at the beginning. So like something we used to do is like just put a little more AMIs, like have more people in the team so you can scale it out.
That's how you would do it differently.
Yeah.
And you want to elaborate on that?
Well, yeah, not necessarily just having more people, but having like the systems in place to manage those people. We like devoted AMIs, like we just didn't have the systems in place to manage and handle like what we need. Like I guess we didn't have the infrastructure and the foundation to build like what we were building on top of it. So it kind of like didn't hold everyone. So we need to have the foundation set ahead of time. Not necessarily having more people put on staff, but having the right systems in place to manage all those people so we can spread it down.
What's the gift? What's the lesson for you as a business owner? Because you know when we're done with you, you'll all be smart business people.
Well, I just said the lesson is number one. That's like in general, like I mean, you see a lot of companies and businesses like growing too fast can be a problem. Like a lot of like franchise companies will start off like successful companies or like restaurants and they'll try to franchise out too many locations all at once and their business model crumbles and they suffer from it. So I mean, that's a lesson from it, and that the importance I guess it takes you gotta have systems in place if you wanna grow. You know, if you wanna recruit anyone, you can have like recruit sharp people and like teach them how to sell. But if you want to build like a really massive organization or team, you have to have like systems in place in order to scale that out.
Yeah, and really trying to figure those systems out when it hits probably isn't so smart.
Yeah, we do.
Right? So this goes back to my diabolical point of the edge. If you don't have a letter in, no one's forcing it. I'm just telling you, until you get a letter in, you're not thinking about this until after the letter at some point. And who knows when that letter goes in, and who knows when you actually put this thought. Number 2 thought I want to share. It's kind of cool that you do it first. If and when things are going to go the way that I expect them to go, that I'm intentionally planning and you training to do, we're going to have a lot of offices that are going to be really big, really fast. Not all. Some of you where you go, you'll have the justice and Puerto Rico, number 2 in the nation, where she called crying, not because it was slow, and I quote, there's too many reps to manage crying. And that's just, by the way, that's just as painful as I don't have enough reps. And it seems like I'd rather have that problem. I'm telling you, not Jessica, not in that moment. And it turned into a $450,000, almost $500,000 summer for the bridge. Okay? So just think about that for a second. Good lesson. Cool. Snap for Andrew. Jazz snap. Broadway jazz snap. Kirsten, let's go. Jazz snap. Okay. Anyone else want to share? How about Virtual Land? Anyone want to share an interesting lesson they got from someone out there? David Delgado, thank you.
Okay. First and foremost,
You're beautiful. Now, what's the lesson? What's the challenge?
Thank you. Well, when you're this good looking. Okay. One of the bigger challenges overall is proper preparation, because that led to a couple of my biggest challenges for the summer, including the manuals training summer, the lack of manuals for the summer. That was not taking proper inventory, not thinking, not updating, and not planning properly through everything to avoid having those kind of situations, especially in the heat of our gold period and the heat of us trying to surge into $1 million summer, and certainly that did not help. So a lot of it was in proper planning, proper preparation, which came about my biggest challenges. So the biggest lesson in that is, diving into the planner, diving into being intentional with what you're doing every day.
Okay, cool. How about over here? You want to have a cool lesson, a cool challenge that you think would help everyone else here, besides Sean? Okay, Luke, are you sharing yours or someone else's? But define the challenge for everyone.
We had probably our sharpest seminar of the year, and turns out we didn't have manuals. So we sent Dave to go get copies in the middle of training, and about an hour and a half to 2 hours of rapport building exercises.
Stalling.
Yeah, stalling. And yeah, it was just we had to just do, I think, the first 9 pages of the manual, whatever. I feel like we ducked up watered it pretty well. I think I'm kind of glad it happened. One of my first times doing this, because I'll never make the mistake again. Always have banker on staff, I think.
Yeah,
banker.
That's a good lesson.
Together as well.
So, Andrew, I was speaking about this. The key is not to find assistants who can do everything. That's your job. Key is to find assistants who can do specific laser-focused things that you don't want to, shouldn't, fill in the blank, right? I don't think, in the pilot, we were really specialized. There were a lot of, I'm looking at Kirsten right now, there were things that Kirsten was zero skill, experience, not good at. Grant, David, but there were things they're also really, really good at, and that's what we went with the hot hand. But we went into the summer, okay, well, once we knew what it was, for Kirsten, it was running group interviews. For Grant, it was PDI. For David, it was, anything that goes under the Ask Dave question. That's a Dave question / just the technical. We weren't trying. Where did we teach? So, for guys from the pilot, the summer wasn't the time to learn all those things. That's now. What was our moment in the summer to teach stuff that they may not know, might not be good at? When did we teach on a weekly basis? The staff. Monday staff meeting. That was it. Because in the summer, there's no time to say, hey, Maddie, you're getting a really, 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 really bad show. So let's stop now in the middle of goal period. The 1 month, the 2 months we wait for the entire year to teach you. There's no time for that. So a really good lesson. Any other additional thoughts on that, Luke? Good. Any other lessons that you heard were pretty good? Who's Delila's partner? Who's your partner? Yeah, okay. Maddie, what challenge did she share with you?
Just her emotional support, or how she was feeling. She would get down, but she pushed through it.
Good. Yeah. Do you mind sharing with Delila? Yeah.
Okay.
So what was the challenge? The thing. Oh, and by the way, you're the only person running a Cutco office that deals with emotional up and down. So we're just gonna do this just for fun and put you on the spot, but no one else here has dealt with that, right? No one. It's only Delila. Right? Sarcasm. Okay, go ahead.
So one of my biggest challenges was definitely emotional management. Sometimes I just wouldn't have the energy that I needed, and I would snap at reps and kind of be a bitch. And
Probably not kind of, probably was. Were, right?
yeah, probably.
Or hangry, or all the above.
Yes. And basically how I did handle it was I would let myself get into a negative headspace and let myself stay there. The best version of myself would have immediately changed my state. I would have, if I really needed to, just littered my mind with inspiration and just poured into people.
Cool. Can I stop you? What if you're not strong enough to do that yourself? Which, by the way, most of us aren't, including me. If I'm really emotional, I'm really pissed, really irritated, really feeling something not good, even your division manager, I sometimes can't do that. right? Your strategy is the best version is what? Find inspiration. Maybe I want to throw my computer and say, there's your inspiration, right? Distance, right? How about that? So what's a better strategy? What's the best strategy there when we all at some point will get there?
Put yourself in a circle of influence there.
Put yourself. This is D2 tips to first years.
Before the summer starts, have a circle of influence that you know is going to
Yeah, know who you're with and who your crew is going into the summer. What are some other on the spot strategies? This is great. Call higher up. Call me. Hey Jeff, can we get a quick laser call? I just need a chance to vent up. Say that. I need a chance to vent up, to verbally vomit, to get it off my chest, so I don't spit on my reps. I don't, how do you call it, project onto my reps. There's nothing wrong with that. Or you could do what some people have done. Oh, well, I don't want to make Jeff think blank, or I don't want to bother Jeff. Well, it's not good business. What's even worse business? Call your boy, call your friend. What's the worst business? You know, Kirsty just started, but I'm just having one hell of a day. Can I tell you about it? Oh my gosh. I'm confiding the reps. That's a smart one. Good. Well, how else are we going to handle that? When and for some of you, it's now. It's happening now. Some of you, it's going to be April. Some of you, it's going to be gold period when your office lease didn't go through. That's going to happen to someone. How about when your home country is in turmoil, Puerto Rico? Right? They're great. We could run a whole prep on how Grace Velez is handling this. We can also run a whole prep on how other people aren't handling it so well. These are great lessons. So how else? When you get to mental funk, and you just don't feel like it reading.
Some sort of exercise.
Yeah, I think exercise is good for if you're faith-based prayer or meditation or in inner chakra and what is it? Your inner alignment chakra.
7 chakras.
All that. Whatever version of it is for you. Okay. What else? So we have exercise. We have circle of influence. We have vent up to your division manager or your district manager.
I was also going to say, just a strong level of commitment really helps navigate lack of motivation. You know what I mean?
I think so.
I mean, by the way, this is not actually I'm just talking very general, but the person that needs to get up every single day and motivate themselves and tell themselves I remember Grant Cardone talked about it in a book, the person that has to wake up every morning and tell themselves you're confident, you got this, everything like that too. Obviously, is not confident, doesn't really know what they're doing. You know what I mean? So having that commitment and throughout the summer too, when you just commit to executing at a very high level, it doesn't really matter how you feel because you're gonna go out there and do it. So it's a lot easier to navigate through periods of highs and lows when it's just you've already committed. It doesn't matter if you feel like it or not, you're gonna do it no matter what.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're gonna follow through with it. And oftentimes, when you show up, when you show up at the office, even if you didn't feel like it, it's a lot easier to get energy, once you're there because you're doing it.
Yeah, it also says don't make decisions. When that's a don't during this time. Don't make any decisions when you're in high emotion. And sometimes don't say anything. So you'll regret. You guys understand what I'm saying with that? How about it's easy to go down. Go back to when you're most excited. For most of you, it's the summer when I put my letter of intent in already in the middle of the summer because that's a high point. You have to go back to high points. Go back to moments where you're really, really, really committed and excited. And remember those moments and remember what's keeping you excited. Sometimes it's worth reading a letter of intent sometimes. And as you get older, you talk about your whys. It's really easy. You hear people speak all the time, including me, about, when I have a family or Heidi, it's easy to say no and yes. But that's not all just speak. That's reality. Also, the Apple example. When you walk into Apple, it's like, hey, welcome to Apple. Can I help you? Oh, you looking for a phone? Cool. What kind of computer do I use? Oh no, I use a Microsoft. But no one in Apple uses Microsoft. It's a cult-like. It is a cultish following in Apple. But you do go to BMW dealerships where people who sell you the cars don't drive a BMW. You go to other companies. Apple, everyone is an Apple freak. And once you go Apple, look at this. Anyone not Apple? When you go Apple, you're not going to go back. I'm telling you, you don't. But I do know people that left Apple that always come back. But what is that? Because there's conviction. What's the other example? If I go to a steakhouse, okay, And I say, hey, what do you think of the 30-day aged dry rub steak? Oh, I'm vegetarian. Why the hell are you working at that steakhouse? Agree or what? Yeah. So if you're not convicted here before you go into the summer, that's rough. That's rough. That's what a lot of today's prep for you guys and for first years about. We got to get ourselves right before we go into this next period, which is growth zone, death zone. Doesn't matter what you call it. It's second quarter is the business. Right? All smart business people. Doesn't matter what fancy term we're going to package it, because we're going to package it as growth zone, as death zone, as the Sherpas. Take all that out. It is second quarter of TLA. There's 4 quarters. We just finished first quarter. That's all it is. And all smart business people evaluate after first quarter. Why? What do you do after first quarter? Why do you evaluate? To do what? Why do you evaluate at first quarter in your company, first quarter in your launch, first quarter of your push?
So you can adjust.
So you can adjust. That's it. So you adjust. And we need a lot of adjusting today, including me. Cool. Any other cool examples? Mr. Ross, and you're talking about, this is yours or Eddie's?
Well, the one I was going to share is kind of both of ours.
Sure. What's the challenge, or what was the challenge?
Well, I talked to Eddie recently. We're both in a position that we were like UAMs, and I had a lot of PRs in the team, like actual friends that I like played baseball with when I was younger.
Oh yeah, this is going to be an issue coming up this summer.
So
with PRs.
Learning to manage friends without coming off like
That's your one.
Managing them like as, hey, I'm trying to help you out and make this better for you versus like.
Yeah, and how did you?
Well, I talked with Carlos because I didn't know how to deal with it, and he said like instead of you trying to do it yourself, use Carlos, like leverage Carlos as like, yeah, I'm trying to do this to help make you look better, so Carlos will get on.
Yeah. Here's a really interesting, revolutionary thought. How about just be real with them? Right?
Which goes back to conviction.
Say it again.
Which goes back to conviction.
Back to
Conviction.
Yeah, conviction. Also, what are the terms? I'm actually very careful that I try not to use. And I look back, it might not be the right term when I say, hey, leverage your blank. Because sometimes that can be manipulative. It's not manipulative if it's a genuine interest, have their best interest. Right? When you have someone text me from the training group, hey, text the division manager. Technically, are you leveraging me? Yes, but it's not in a way to manipulate. It's a way to, hey, I want to help you network with the division manager. This will help you have a better career with us. You see the difference? It's how you approach it. So how would you handle it if you could do it over again?
Just like you said, do it like straight up. Tell them like what's in their best interest instead of.
Hey man, when you do it like this, I'm just telling you, Alex, it's not going to go well. I'm just being straight up with you. So I think you should talk to Carlos because I don't want to get involved. I'm your boy. I don't want to feel like I'm talking at you because that's not cool. So I don't want us to be. I don't want to put any strain on our relationship. So I'm going to ask that you talk to Carlos. Is that cool, man? Because we're boys and we're going to stay boys. How's that sound? Is that real? Is that leveraging Carlos? Yeah. Is it a light bulb for any of you? But a lot of you won't deal with that unless you're PRing people into your branch, but most of you are branching in your hometown. Some are, but not many. Okay, any other? Good, Eddie.
Yeah, there's another one that he had that we also kind of just meshed with, but handling like office drama.
Okay.
You kind of want to go into it believing like there won't be drama.
Okay, so ready? Here's the situation. This never happens in the Vector office either. There's office drama. Let's get staff problem. Let's start with staff. So the specific situations, there was drama, tension, fill in the blank with staff. How was it handled? What was the response or reaction?
Well, from my experience, like Gabe and I were kind of like the two office managers at head AMs, like two DOMs. And we should really only have one DOM kind of thing. So we had a big we knew the responsibilities and we did our parts, but there was always a military part. We just kind of assumed more than talked. And so it kind of hit a boiling point. Like Andrew thankfully was there to kind of mitigate it, but it went into just full stabs and just straight insults and just ripping into each other until Andrew
It's awesome.
Yeah. It was aggressive, but Andrew helped it go from volatile to constructive, and we worked past it.
Yeah, and looking back, how would you handle it differently?
Really high communication.
How would you handle it if it still went haywire? If it still got to a point like that because the communication wasn't handled early, how would you handle it?
Kind of just taking control a little bit. Just not letting things just hang in the air and assuming it. But like, hey, I'm going to do this. you can do that, or whatever works best for us to be most comfortable. But let's not try and skirt around each other. We're just dodging each other.
Yeah. A little passive aggressive, you know that. How else would you handle that? There's tension between you and someone else. It could be another branch, another district. How would you handle it? The answer is always beforehand, but let's say you didn't. What's good strategy? Anytime you have conflict. What's good conflict strategy? Be specific. Right? What's good when you're overweight? Work out. You know, duh. But be specific. What's good conflict strategy?
Just be real with them.
Yes.
Just be like, this is how I feel.
Okay, so share your hey, this right now I'm feeling like this. What's important about saying it like that, which is right?
It's not aggressive. It's just coming at them at a point of like understanding and they'll learn.
Where you go back to 1 minute manager. What don't you do? You don't talk about or attack what?
Oh,
Or who? The person, the character. Hey Eddie, you. Anytime you say you or you should or hey Eddie, I want you to know that when this happened, this is how I felt. Or because this isn't happening, this is how I'm feeling right now. Take out emotion. If any of you think about any conflict management that I've had to mitigate, is the term you use, for any of you, hey, really, next time you get into a bad place and you're talking to Jeff, which will happen for most of you, listen to how I'm speaking to you, and I might not always do it right, but for the most part, you'll hear I'm talking about the actions and not the person, and it's never personal. And you'll hear things like, and I think that can come across as, or hey, you know, I don't know what your intention was, but I was feeling like. Hey, when you chose to do blank. Hey, when you screwed up that, then you get, just think about things that you might say that will automatically get an FU and a closed ear. And don't say those things. Cool? Lesson so far, yeah? So good? Okay. Here's what I want to do. Go to the next section. I want to do a quick review of our next level program. This group, okay? This is from my talk 2 years ago at SLC, but I want to just review. So this is the ideal track. If someone isn't flirting, I said to our DVM team, in the ideal world, this is the track, okay, for 2/3 of the division. Okay, I want to clarify here because the assumption you can easily make after this is, oh, everyone should AM before branch. That is not true. That happens to be the case with these guys, number 1 and number 2 in the nation. And so it's easy. It's called confirmation bias. You know what confirmation bias is? What's Look, you're not in your head. You've heard that in business class. What's confirmation bias?
Looking out for the results you want from a certain situation.
Yeah. So you look to justify. You pull your information to justify what you see. So, for example, the number 1, number 2 branches in the nation were both assistants first. Therefore, to be successful, what? I have to be an assistant first. That is the biggest crock of poop ever. Ask Francisco Duran this. He profited 8 to 10 grand this summer, and he was a rep. Ask some of you, okay? I assisted first, but there's zero proof. Side note: there's zero proof that a really good sales rep is a good manager. By the way, now you can't be at 10K in sales, I think, and be a good manager. But once you get to a decent seller, there's no correlation between being really good at sales, like Cutco intentional demo sales, and being a good manager. I was, but that's not. Kate Arbuthnot's a division manager, and she went district at 18K in sales. She has not missed $1 million in 15 years or 13 years, $1 million a year.
Her career says only 18K.
When she was under 30, it was under 30 when she went as a district. Okay, now I think that's a rare exception, but what I'm saying is, okay, be careful with confirmation bias. In an ideal world, you have your AM team, okay, and during the fall. The whole point of the fall is to elevate your training. That's the whole point we're right now. Elevate, get better. Okay. Then they go branch the next year, whether it's they branched already, right? So let's take the example of this is Kirsten, right? So Kirsten is an assistant. Ideally, she'll be a branch with next level training, and then the next fall should be a leadership. Learn through teaching. So if you're here and this is your 2nd or 3rd or 4th time, it should be taken not as oh well, I've heard this before. That's selfish and that's not learning. How should you look at these events? Even though this is the 3rd time you've read How to Be CEO, or this is the 5th time you've seen this slide, or at SLC a couple of people said, oh, I've heard those stories. Well, I know that person's not thinking the right way. I hope you've heard my stories because my stories are always the same. I'm always consistent, and most of the time it's not by accident. Right? So how you view things. Then there's the 2-time branch team. We're gonna have more double branches, 2-time branches, than anyone I think in the region. And it's only gonna get bigger because of this program. More 2-time branches. Why? Because you run the branch the first time to build, the second time to grow, third time if you do it to scale. You guys know it. See, you guys can finish my sentences. Haha. Gotcha. Okay. And then from there, it's an Andrew Evans 3-time branch or a DMC. Okay. And these become our these are the people ideally you choose for PSM, for district office manager candidates. In an ideal world, 2 years, I guess for Andrew, or I guess Luke when you're DM, an ideal role, when you're DM, you're always going to get a DOM that's already branched. In 2019 and 20 beyond, all those district managers will have a DOM that is branched. That's how many people we will have. That's how many 2-time and 3-time branches. Okay. Any questions so far? So I'm going to go through this. This is all DVM stuff. Okay. And the whole goal, and it changes, is to have a different curriculum as well. So if you take a look here, if I'm a first year, this is what I cover: fall, winter break, spring. It changes a little bit. This is last year. If I'm next level, I'm switching it. I'm pulling the seminar to the beginning, which we'll do in November, December. High level PR program and personal growth. And if you notice, a lot of it's customized. Like for example, Andrew, a lot of his training has been customized. Last year, he didn't attend any preps. We just made a lot of agreements, which no surprise. Okay. And a big part of the training is you develop in person. This was you remember Luke and Andrew, we put together this really awesome video that didn't record. Remember that? Hours worth. Yours recorded. This okay. Well, the whole thing was growing yourself in the fall so you're in the best place possible. Because in the spring, if you're trying to work on yourself, it's kind of game over. Okay? And then of course, having specific plans. You guys know this. Don't forget Focus 5. This is the new Focus 5 of Florida United. And if you don't know this, you should, and it's on the WhatsApp. You should have started. But to move the business, I don't care what you're good at. I care that you're good at these 5 things. Right? PR program, obviously. United best practices, running a kick-butt 2-day or 3-day training, fast start program, and demo management. Okay, and this is from the last 2 preps. If you don't have the picture, start. And, you just took a picture. Maybe Eddie, take a picture one more time. Post it. Start on the NLG page. If you're not focusing on this, it's extra stuff you don't need to do. Unless you're Andrew, or if you've run 2 offices already, then you can study stuff outside of this. But I wouldn't even do that. Like, I would say this was the pilot this summer. We were good at this stuff and nothing more. Like our team meetings, I mean, I honestly couldn't even tell you if they were good or bad because I didn't really go to any. But I can tell you we got demos beforehand. That's what I care about. And some LaCroix were shotgunned. Those are the 2 things I'm confident in. We got a lot of demos and PRs, and we shotgunned some LaCroix. Yeah, that's it. If you've never branched, break it down, make it really easy. These 2, can you get quality recruits? And can you run a decent training seminar? If you can start with that, you'll always have lots of people. So far, so good? Okay. And I'm going to skip through. You guys know 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 10 branch. So what I'd like to do, if you could open up, and if you don't have a computer, look on with someone, pull out a piece of paper. If you could open up the handouts from today. In the next level portion, there's a scorecard. We're going to do a scorecard for the first years. This is a next level scorecard. So let me show you what that looks like on the screen. There's 2 versions of it. It should be the one that says NLG Summer Prep. And I'm going to it looks like this guy. You see that? So what I'd like you to do is go through, and 1 to 5. 5 is the best score, 1 is the lowest score. This takes out all emotion. I just want you to grade yourself. Where are you at right now? We're at the end of the first quarter. I want you to make smart business decisions. Because when we're done with you, you'll all be smart business people. Smart business people evaluate early. to adjust.
Which folder is that?
Next level group, folder 0. NLG, sorry, it wasn't. It's a repeat. Yet another acronym. So good, fill that out. And actually, it's incorrect. For the first page, the highest score is 50, I believe. And it means it's not available. We're not really doing, I'm not having you guys script training right now. Okay, real quickly, go through that first page. And then when you're done that, the second page is more skill set. So of the focus 5, this is the slide I just showed. Rate yourself 1 to 5 on that. Let's get a real honest assessment of where you're at. Ready? Step on the scale, if you will. Not versus, oh, I feel like I'm losing weight. Get on the scale. Did you lose weight? I think my grades are good. Look them up. I think my credit score's good. What is it? All the same. Moving down to 30 seconds. Should be pretty straightforward. Okay, going down. Thumbs up. Thumbs up if you're done. Okay. I want you to review your scores for both pages. And I want you to write down or take a note in your tablet or your notebook, iPad or laptop or stone and chisel. Close this thing on. Hello. Talk crap, hello. Go back. I can write down 2 or 3 light bulbs from going through this as you look at the scores. What's apparent? You guys know feather, brick, truck? Some lessons hit you like a feather, soft, and you don't pay attention. Some hit you like a brick. And other lessons run you over like a truck. What are the 3 things you're taking from the scoring of yourself? Not my score, your score. Maybe it's what you need to work on. Maybe it's, okay, I finally need to blank. I talked to a manager the other day that said, I'm just tired, sick and tired of blank. why change, or why are we doing this? I'm just sick and tired of these results. I'm sick and tired of playing. They even went so far as to say, I'm just sick and tired of being sick and tired. Well, they just had enough of snap. Write 2 or 3 things that come from your scoring. Anyone like to share what they wrote down, what they're taking from their scoring? Be cool. Who'd like to share?
But a lot of it is basing routines. To get your routines on point, a lot of this kind of stuff will fall into place.
So what are you taking from that for you? Based on your score, let's shout it out.
Point to use routines between really now and Olean, but in the yeah.
By year and banquet, if it's not a routine, I'm just telling you. If you're not up by a certain time by year and banquet, if you're not working out by year and banquet, if you're not journaling, praying, reading the Bible, it's different for all of you. Whatever you want to do and it's important to you up here on this list. I'm sorry, I didn't write it. Yeah, if you're not getting up early, if you're not planning, it's not happening. I'm just telling you. Anyone else want to share? What else did you write down? I can call on you. I'm probably going to prefer that. Eddie, what'd you write down? Let me read it. Got done.
There's a lot of things that you don't realize that you're not good at, and I think that's something, or need to work on, for a better term. But that's something that's beneficial from doing these kind of activities, so you can actually become aware of what you need to work on.
Yeah, raise your hand if you have a lettering right now. I would really encourage you to take a hard look at those 2 pages and consider January 26th as your deadline. So it's good to. Why is it good to also do a quarter 1 review? Because what does it give you? What does it allow you? Insight and time. Quarter 2 review is too late. Quarter 3, good luck. If you're waiting for quarter 3 to review, that's the first year. That first years do that all the time. Got a letter in. I'm training just enough to get a branch. I get my territory December 15th to January 15th. Oh, I need to get on it. Those are the 20 to 60K branches. We have them all the time. And then they go into this and get serious and go. And then they go round 2. Yep.
For what I wrote down, kind of like looking at it, it's one of those things that you already know. Like looking at it, you know as you're scoring it, why, exactly how.
Yeah.
And it just kind of comes back to like, you knew about it at the beginning, you knew about it halfway through, and you know about it now, and you know why it's there because you can think about every single moment where you decided one way or you decided the other.
Yeah, and sometimes to Eddie's point, you're saying you kind of just know, and as you're running, you know. Here's something I want you to think about to yourself. Who do you think you're fooling? Right? I'll give you two quick examples. When the assignments are due for next level by 9 p.m. Friday, the time you send it to me, who do you think you're fooling about how it looks and how prepared, or if not, you are? Right. About a third of the assignments I got this week, earlier in the week, the majority I get Thursday and Friday after I send the reminder. And 10% is late, or I got two this morning before 5 a.m. 2 of them. Who do you think you're fooling? Actions speak so loudly, I don't have to listen to what you're saying as to how serious you are about this. But let me remind you, you will have a $9,000 investment from the company and your own money and time and energy and your experience on the line. And the fall is the time to work on this. Right? This is just me being real with all of you. Hey, quarter 1's over. Right? If you were to give yourself a quarter 1 review, A, B, or C as your grade, what grade would you get? Write it down. Quarter 1 review. Quarter 1 grade, 1 through 5. We'll keep it consistent. What's your quarter 1 next level group training on the edge score? And the great thing is we have time. The great thing is we have time. You know why I know we have time? Because when do most people really commit and get it done? What event? Olean. Olean is when people are inspired and
Kirsten, can I talk to you? First year. Yeah, I'm gonna put my letter in, what should I say? And I'm ready. And that's great, but we will have 2/3 of us here will have already been trained. And that's why you're next level, not first year. So there is time, but don't wait and commit and do the work like a first year, because then you'll get first year results. I'm telling you straight up. We're gonna have branches up and down the East Coast, and if you're gonna represent Florida United in Virginia, in Georgia, in Carolina, in somewhere in Florida Atlantic, I don't know where, if you're gonna represent our division, the two or three things I expect from all of you is how you carry yourself, and people are gonna go, oh, you must be from United, respectful, professional, energetic, humble, all that. Number 2, preparation, and number 3, execution of programs. They will all, you don't have to even say, and people should know, they must be from Florida United. Okay? So think about that as you score yourself. Did anyone score themselves a 5+ on this quarter 1 grade? 4+?
What is ABC?
Or ABC? Did anyone score themselves an A? Last few things. We had a conversation last prep I want to revisit of the type of people we want, and who can summarize why we did it like this in the lesson last year. Matt Luke. Remember we went through, do you guys remember last prep in Gainesville? When I was in Gainesville, we talked about, what did we talk about with this?
You don't need people that are cool.
Yeah, it's not, yeah, you want tangible, what do you call it, real tangible ways to attract people. Not, oh, well, they have that it factor. The it factor is probably one of the biggest sabotage phrases that we can give ourselves. The it factor, what does that mean? Versus influencers, one step ahead, create mystique, offer value to people, have something people want, mentor, guide, magnetic. I like you to write those things down and then grade yourself there. A, B, or C, or 1 through 5. Or the ancient Sanskrit. You can grade yourself for ancient Sanskrit. Arabic, if you will. Or emojis. Grade yourself with emojis. Do you get a poop? Do you get a heart? Do you get a dancing woman? Do you get the U sign? That's the best one. Rate yourself, but seriously, rate yourself. No, but for real, rate yourself.
In each one of these respective.
Yeah. Am I an influencer? A, B, or C? 1 through 5. Am I one step ahead? Do I create mystique? Influencers, one step ahead of people, create mystique. Rate yourself. I'm putting all these slides that you want to have so you can finally start. Okay.
Can I move? Ready? Last slide. We'll take a break. I've been flying a lot. I have flown more these last 2 years than I have my entire life. I know first names of attendants at TSA. Lucinda at Fort Lauderdale Airport is this Cuban lady who doesn't even look at me, and I'm approaching a long line, and she already knows I'm A-list. She'll go, oh yeah, give a little besito, like, who the hell is this guy? The guy's always flying. That's who he is. Right? I know people at the security at Fort Lauderdale, Philadelphia. I know a few people. I know the secret ins and outs. I know where not to go to the bathroom in the airport. It's that bad. Okay. And I also can repeat the spiel they give him. And I also, hey, do I need a verbal confirmation that you're willing and able to assist in the event of an emergency? Yes. And I just go, yes, ma'am. And 4 times out of 10, 5 times out of 10, they go, you are so polite, thank you, because no one ever listens to the attendant. Right? And there's always someone, sir, I need a verbal yes. Oh, verb, and I always go to the lady. So anyway, in the event of an air emergency, the mask will drop down. Please secure whose mask first. Why? Before you support children, why? And what's the answer between us? Why do you put your mask on first? If you die, everyone dies. If you don't die, people have a shot. That's a nice way of saying it. Okay? So, got to get yourself right. Okay? I want you to write down your biggest takeaway from this first hour of prep today. Notes, bullet points, words, emojis if you need to. What are you taking before we go to break? It's only 2. If you bother to look at the agenda, 80% of you didn't. There's only 2 topics. This one and the schedule. That's all we're doing today. Just doing 2 topics today. This would be okay if we only did this. I'm not encouraging that. We're going to do more work. But we could go to lunch right now. We'd still have a lot done. What are your biggest takeaways from the first hour and a half of NLG number 3 here on October 14th in Tallahassee on Governor's Boulevard? What's the street called? Governor Square Boulevard, across the street from Blaze Pizza and Starbucks. And a pretty cool Greek place, by the way. Pretty good people. Here, home weekend. Would anyone like to share? Well, how about this? Ready? What are your biggest takeaways? And the last 2 things. Humor me. Let's do this since some of you aren't really planning it intentionally. This is what my journal looks like. What are your big 3 after debriefing these last hour and a half, whatever you wrote down? What are your big 3 outcomes you want coming out of this prep? Question mark. Why is that important to you? What's your action step to get that outcome? So what are 3 specific? We're RPMing right now, if you remember that last prep. RPM, reason, purpose. It's a result, purpose, and massive action. RPM. This is the result. This is the purpose. This is the massive action. What are 3 outcomes you want coming out of this prep from now until Olean? The beginning of quarter number 2 for TLX. Big 3 outcomes. Be specific. Get organized. That's not specific. Get in shape. That's not specific. Start waking up earlier. That's not specific. Be specific. Does anyone have a DVD drive? CD DVD drive in their older version?
Oh, we have a DVD drive there.
I think I do. You do, yes, perfect. Okay. During the break, if I could borrow your ancient DVD drive. That's outstanding.
Is that a DVD?
That is what I
Sean, there's a DVD player right there.
I want to up the fucking files. Okay, ready? Big 3. Why is that important to you? 3 action steps. Quickly. This is what I do every morning, so I want you to do it now, coming off of this first hour and a half session at every level. Andrew is the highest level, the district manager. Maybe it has to do with something he's preparing for next summer. Maybe it's for current business. For Luke, bless you, second highest tenure. Maybe it's something to do with communication with staff, TLA. Maybe it has to do with getting yourself right. Another 30 seconds per minute. I'd like to share big discoveries, light bulbs, takeaways from the first hour and a half. What'd you write down before the RPM? What'd you write down? Go around the horn. Eddie, what'd you write down? Takeaways. Or one.
Well, I didn't know you had a slide for it. But definitely the whole getting yourself right is kind of like my biggest thing. So this is my big three. The first one is really just trying to get my routine down. That's definitely not something I'm doing correctly.
Gotcha. No, but real quick, I'm gonna go backwards if I could. Just so, what are you taking from the first hour and a half here overall? What'd you write down?
It centers around the getting yourself right, but to really just vent up, not sideways.
Got it.
Kind of done that. Stop lying to yourself. Don't make the excuses.
Cool. Okay. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for being honest. Alex, you can give one. Give me one takeaway from the first hour and a half here.
Just seeing like where am I now versus where I'm going to be.
Okay. So kind of a real live time assessment. Amelie, what's one thing you wrote down? Takeaway.
Mine was like, don't be afraid to ask for help and have
Good. That's a good takeaway. Maddie.
Mine just seeing where I'm at, where I can improve better.
Okay. Well, I'm going to come back to go to virtual. We'll go Maggie, Antoine, and David. Then we'll go to Clearwater, Soleil, and Grant. Big takeaway, first section.
Biggest takeaway is realizing where I'm actually at on my scoreboard.
Cool. Nice and concise. Antoine.
My biggest takeaway with the air mask, get yourself right on everyone else.
Okay. Yeah. I hope that takes on for everyone. Nice three-piece suit. David Delgado.
It really shows how much I've been able to grow and develop, and also shows me what I have to continue building upon. But it really shows me the great opportunity that this has been for me to develop on a personal and professional level so far.
Cool. We'll go to Brandon and Tyler. What'd you write down? Takeaway from the first hour and a half here. We're going to break after this.
I would just say knowing where I am with the scoreboard and just the areas improved and how I can improve.
Okay, good. Tyler?
Yeah, just kind of a question. How many of these things are I good at now that I could strike this?
Yeah. There's no time after January 26th. I'm just telling you. All poop hits the fan. When we go on our tropical trip, the tropical push, it's usually my birthday weekend. It'll be after January 26th when we go somewhere hot and tropical and all-inclusive. And we'll put the Vector snoot aside and not judge the quality of the drink pouring like that I did. So bad. Good. Soleil, Grant.
I would say just seeing how everyone had to change big parts of their mentality, their behavior, and their habits in order to succeed here.
Okay. Grant, how about you? What's the takeaway from the first hour and a half?
My biggest takeaway is just that you need to get yourself right before you have the capacity to influence or to work with any other person.
Yep. Raise your hand, and virtually, I guess, raise your hand. Raise your hand if the first hour and a half is a wake-up call for you. Good, mission accomplished. Dalila, take over. Thanks, Grant. Thanks, Soleil. Thanks, Clearwater. Thanks, Pilot. What'd you? Yeah, get rid of toxic people. Good. JP, big takeaway.
I would say that just the first quarter is over. It's time to start focusing on making specific programs for getting rid of all your weaknesses.
Yeah, it's okay to say this to yourself. All right, first quarter ready. This first quarter has not been good for NLG overall. This has not been a strong first quarter for our NLG team, specifically in tally. Actually, weak. Tampa, very strong, by the way. Those of you in Tampa, nice job. Very good job. Pilot, that's just David and Antoine. Very good. I would say good job. Tally's been weak, but there's spots everywhere. And not everyone in Tampa has been good the whole time. Not everyone in the pilot. But overall, I would give our NLG group a solid B at best. But if you're saying to yourself, okay, now's the wake-up call, you can only say that so long before it really is too late. So let's get on it. Let's get on. Let's make decisions now. Really important. Snap out of it. Sean.
Yeah, it's just taking a look at now and just give it better for me.
Okay, great. Thanks for sharing. Kirsten.
Mine was kind of just identifying the challenges that I had last summer and then how I handled it and kind of evaluating it and then how I can fix it.
Okay, good. Bree.
Seeing what I need to make hours now and acting like the DM I want to be now.
Yeah, it's important. That's a big statement. Acting like, I acted like the DVM I wanted to be starting before these two went branch together. There's things I wasn't really doing. There's things I was kind of cutting corners on, to be honest. I said, if I want to be this division manager, and it hasn't stopped. It's working really well, let me tell you. So, Luke.
Mine is Olean is when other people start to get things like on point. So it's like our last checkpoint before that, and that's what makes it one of the things that makes our division great. So it's like a real
Yeah, this is
like I call it's like
this is for real edge. But there's only 4 weeks left. But a lot can happen in 4 weeks. I'm telling you, things can change. People's attitude. The most monumental shifts. One thing I'm going to pray for really hard for today as well is that you go back and say, damn, from tally prep until Olean, that's when I woke up. That's when I got my poop together. And I look back at my successful fill in the blank, like Rhiannon says district. I look back and say, October 14th till that Olean, November the 10th. I remember that time frame and how I left Tallahassee. And when I bought Jeff all that food for saying thank you, and I just bought him food for no reason. And that was the time. Andrew, wrap us up.
I just, put down my list. There's like just always room for growth and improvement. Just a lot of like the ranking systems. It's just, I pretty much put myself 5 in anything. So
yeah, I like the scorecards, but it's just straight up. It's not. I had a manager ask me, "Hey, can you tell me what you think my weaknesses are? Why is that a flawed strategy on his or her part?" Ask me that, or ask anyone that. I'm asking a bunch of trusted friends and colleagues to give me honest feedback on what you think I could improve upon and be better at. Why is that a really flawed strategy? Think about it. Think if I asked you to do that with me. People want to be nice. People don't want to be honest. People don't want to lose their job if you're talking up. People don't want to lose a relationship. That's why you do ambiguous. This is ambiguous. Not ambiguous. This is objective. Has no feelings involved. Cool. Any other takeaways? Outstanding. It is now 10:39. Let's take 15 minutes. Okay. All right. But 15 only. No more than 15. It is 40. 10:55. Let's roll. Let's be strong. Cool. Thanks, guys. Yeah. All right, how's everybody? Okay, let's roll. Do we have Clearwater accounted for? Oh, sorry. All right, let's get rolling. Do we have everyone accounted for? Clearwater in the house. Pilot in the house. Rancher Soleil in the house. Wonderful.
Jeff, is the link posted on the Zoom doc? Fucking doc. There it is. No, that is mine. That's my own.
Hey, for those of you that have started delving into journaling, this is not a call-out session. I'm just asking if anyone started to really get serious. If anything, you just remember there's the full-blown version, and then there's the bare minimum, bare bones. Who remembers from last prep? Bare bones, just 2 things you get done if you get anything done from the journaling. Yeah, so reverse it, right? Start with grateful. Why? Who can explain? I'm one of your friends, non-Cutco. They say, well, why do you talk about, why do you write down what you're grateful for? What's the business? There you go. The worst state of mind, the worst state of place to be is helplessness because you have no one. When you're helpless, what don't you have? As a business owner, you don't have any option, direction, or control. But we know there's always something you can control, and the opposite of helplessness is grateful. You put yourself in the right spot, okay? No matter how horrid I felt and how much I didn't want to see you guys today, I just said, okay, I am grateful for what I have before I step into this wretched hole known as MLG. I'm just kidding. Okay, on that note, grateful and then big 3. But if you want to take the big 3 to a little bit to what we talked about, that highest level, it's big 3, which is what? That's the outcome you want. The why, that's the reason, and then the massive action plan. Does anyone want to share an example of what they wrote down about getting yourself right, air mask? Anyone want to share one? I'll share 1 or 2 before we roll. Also, one. Hello. Hello? RPM for how you're going to get yourself right for quarter 2. Anyone want to share? Are we willing to share? Luke's willing to share, but it's in his mouth right now. He will share. Luke will share. Go ahead.
So I had to this gym 5 times a week using my fitness more consistently. To take the house.
So tracking. Okay, one more time. So the outcome is what?
Big 3, diet and fitness. Why? Energy management, action, my fitness style, and gym 5 times.
Okay, so just get back to tracking. Yeah, and you know this, and we're going to talk about macros today. If you've done it for a little bit, it takes a year. It takes 6 months to a year to start understanding how to track. Then you don't really have to count. My whole goal today, the health portion, is for you to figure out how bad it is what you're doing when you eat. For the next 2 weeks to go, holy smokes. And what you thought was 2,000 or 3,000 calories actually is 5,000 to 6,000 calories in a day. That includes the fun stuff too.
That scares me.
I wish I was consuming 5,000 to 6,000 calories.
Say it again.
I wish I was consuming 5,000 to 6,000 calories.
Okay, can they see?
He's over that.
All right. Can you guys, Brandon? I can see you, and David. Are you guys? Can you see this on the screen? Okay. You guys can see this. Let me know. Thumbs up if you can see it. Okay, you got it? Do me a favor, if you could pull up, I guess, brand new notes, or if you have this from last prep, or both. Either one. I want to do a quick review. I thought we had a really good session last time regarding ideal office schedule. And I'm going to put a little circle here because Andrew and I had a conversation about training yesterday. Let me do a quick review. Oh, it's nice having this. I feel so authoritative and relaxed all at the same time. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday,
Wednesday,
then
Thursday. Every week.
Friday. Every week, every time,
week.
all year long.
Never fails.
So we got advanced training. Just clarifying, there's triple threat at the beginning, rep driven at the end. All the reds represent the rough time frame when you can set your 5, or in the case of Sunday, set 10. Set 5 or 10 what? PRs, okay? So this is fire number. Okay? And it yields, based on our calculations, 30 to 40, which is about 2 to 4 launches of ideally the right people, because let me test you guys. Who are we calling? Who are the managers calling when you're doing the red here? Give me Mr. Ross. What lists are you calling when you're doing this stuff, the red?
Top 5 in the interview.
Okay, that's one version. That's the top 5 in the interview. But what's the number one priority? That's right. You're right. What's the number one priority? What's the number one priority to call? Top 10 list from training. Now, top 10 list is not necessarily an accurate number. Why? How come it's not always top 10? Who can tell me why? If situation is the boss, I'll preface. Why is it not always 10? Ray, go ahead.
If it's a really big training class.
It's a really big training class. Maybe it's top 5 only. Or I always like to still keep top 10. What's the opposite?
You get a lot of names from
Yeah, let's say I have like Delgado. Delgado, give me the situation as the boss. So we only launched how many, unfortunately? Oh, that's right. I can't hear you. One more time.
Launched 2, collected 161 PRs, so I'm keeping 80 of them personally, and then only sending up to conveyor 80.
And because we need names to fuel it, so instead of sending a whole 160 to conveyor, he kept one full list for himself. Smart move. Cool. You're a smart guy.
Smart business person.
That's a smart business person. Okay. Interviews, INT are all the interview spots. They could change by 15 to 30 minutes on the time slot. Phone jam, PSP. This is an intentional PDI Tuesday to set up what? Yeah, team meeting, Wednesday, phone jam, all this stuff. Okay. And I would say this is probably also PDI here. PSP, PDI. Okay, so this is last time. I put in green, let me clarify, this was not from last prep. When, at least I'm using the pilot example, we did not do live PDI every day. And I don't think actually we need to. In fact, we're probably going to scale this to the whole division, where the whole concept of an 8 to 10 a.m. check-in, I think really is kind of obsolete for the people we're managing. There are ways to set up accountability. I think there is a time frame when we need to hear from people by, but I don't think sticking to a need to call by 8 or 9 a.m. is going to work necessarily. But there's a way to do it, which we'll teach you later. We're texting a lot. You guys know that the generation has a lot of texting, and sometimes we're texting people, we're getting a hold of them by 11 or 12, and I think that's okay. I really do. Especially if we're saying, hey, if you're not working today, we're not going to hassle you. You see that? But I do think there are times where you have to have it in your system, in our system, where there is live PDI. Tuesday, live PDI to set up Wednesday. Friday/Saturday, live PDI. We also call this the benchmark PDI. Tell me if you ran a branch or district in the pilot, or if you're in the pilot, what's benchmark PDI? Here, so what's Friday benchmark PDI? Friday morning, what happened? Try to remember. Forget the term benchmark. On PDI on Friday, what was a big focus when we talked to reps? I know you were recruiting.
Setting up the weekend
In what sense? You're right.
and like maximizing their schedule.
Okay, that's part of it. Eddie?
Benchmark, I'm thinking benchmark PDI, like for us, it was kind of like making sure we're on pace, at least for what we set up. So kind of stuff.
That's also part of it. Look more specifically, what's benchmark PDI? To best practice.
Looking where everyone is for the week, giving them a goal to hit for the week, and then setting an action to get there.
Yeah. So objectively, you take the whole training group that just finished training the week before.
Yeah.
You write down 1, 3, 6, 10, right? 1, 3, 6, 10. You write down everyone who just launched the prior week, their name under one of the levels. And the live conversations with those people have to do with, hey, Emily, hey, look, you're at 1,500. I really think you could get to 3 grand by Monday. So it's encouraging. It's schedule accountability. It's holding them to a number, and anything that involves driving demos Friday. And that's a live conversation. Also, you notice the 2 live days are right before a big phone jam. So Tuesday to set up, Wednesday's phone jam, and Friday/Saturday to set up, Sunday's phone jam. The only other thing I would add that's different here, and Andrew and I talked about this, 90 to 99%, we will be on a 2-day training in the region. The whole region will be on 2-day training, for sure. I do think there will be a small 5 percentile of the region that will not switch because either they didn't quite get on it in the fall, it's too late in the spring to switch, or they just don't feel comfortable. Drew Frank's division is #1 in the nation, and they're on 2-day. Greg Strine's #2, and they're on 3-day.
still. So I like switching to 2-day for lifestyle purposes and for the future of our district team. But there might be a few people who, even now, we have 1 or 2 districts that don't want to go to 2-day right now until they find a time more comfortable, which is okay. Notice we're also not teaching training hardcore until December, January with this group. We'll start at Olean, but we're not really diving into role playing and all the talks, because part of it, side note, is we're looking to potentially automate some of the big talks. So any talk that's over 30, 45 minutes, that's harder to give. If you're not feeling comfortable, there'll be a Jeff Kimbo or some type of a video that you just play, like AT1. Raise your hand if you're in office this summer. You know, in AT1, you're supposed to play my videos, and I do the names of this talk for you. Well, if there's a talk over 30 or 45 minutes, I would have a video, or there would be a region version, and you would just proctor the video. If you feel confident and you can give the talk, you give the talk. Okay, and that's also proven this summer too. Through Frank's division, there's half the division was on that. Greg Strine's #1 new DM went from 100 to 468K new 1 year to the next. 100K new, 468. He spoke at SLC, and he never ran any of the big talks. It was always a video, and he would proctor it with the group. So imagine, it's best. You know, proctor means? Right, if you're not proctoring, just watching the video with the team. Okay, everyone cool? All right, go. Proctoring is, all right, you notice how Mr. Gamboa talked about, like, you'll follow up, debrief. Sorry, debrief, that's the best way. Okay, any questions so far? Or light balls, or I like that, or don't like that?
What you didn't mention is about about 2-day moving into
Yeah, that's next. So everyone understands the philosophy of why live for Tuesday, why live for Friday or Saturday. It's essentially to book for the next phone jam, get attendance. And here's what I'll say. Let me take you through the life cycle of a rep. Just process this for a second. Let's say we launched on Friday. Okay. There's no. I want to tell you why we don't have check-in PDI. Okay. Is there check-in PDI on Friday for a new launch? Is there a check-in? Not clock in from the demo. I mean check-in for the day. No, why? They were just there, but they are calling when from the demo. Ready? This is if you've been paying attention. What if you're a solo first-year branch manager, because first years don't have assistants, not in our division, and you're in the middle of something, you can't take the PDI call. What do you do? What are we doing? This is a Micah Bromwitz goodie. WhatsApp debrief from every appointment. They're going to let you know how their appointment went anyway, and you get to it when you can. Okay, our division will live and die. You know, in basketball, you live and die by the three-pointer. We will live and die by WhatsApp. That's our division. So let me fast forward. Let me rewind. So what Mike did really well this summer is because he didn't want PDI to go to all of his assistants. He said, all right, everywhere. He sets it up in training that when you call, if you don't get a manager, WhatsApp, 10 seconds or less, sound familiar? If it's over 10 seconds, I don't get back to you, sound familiar? If you're a branch, you know that's me. 10 seconds or less, what went well, what was not good on the appointment, what did you learn? What are you going to do to get better? The next level is we're going to have a playlist of videos of 5-minute instruction on, oh, you didn't get, I need to get better at leads. Cool. Just send the link to Rhiannon, and Rhiannon, before your next demo, watch this 5-minute video. There's a lot less you having to teach and be available 24/7 on the phone. It's not to eliminate the work, it's to make it more efficient. So the whole goal is that by the time we get to March, we will have 20 to 30, getting more recs, increase average order. We'll have different videos that when you can't get a hold of someone, you get a 10-second WhatsApp, you can respond on your own time. Luke was doing it all summer long, just responding to demos. And then here's a link you should check out. How's that sound? Cool? A lot of cool innovations. So late launch Friday. Saturday, there's no check-in. There's no mandatory check-in for the day. Why? Well, we don't do it during the weekends, and they're also calling from every appointment. Sunday, they're calling from every appointment. There's no check-in here, and we'll see them at AT1. So the next possible time for them to check in is Tuesday to have a live appointment. So on our system, we'll talk to them from every appointment launch, first weekend, and then Monday we'll see them.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
What do you mean by live PDI? Like in the office?
Meaning we talk to them, because right now.
What's the difference between non-live PDI and PDI?
This might be a WhatsApp. You might not.
Oh,
you might not necessarily. All right. Talk to them live. Okay. Here you'll see everyone, and you're calling them from every appointment. They're talking from every appointment. But here in the morning, from let's say 8 a.m. till noon, you want to make sure you get a live conversation with every one of your reps before you get into the later part to confirm them, to follow up on assignments. What assignment? You can tell me. Say it. Attack list. Okay. Power hour. What's the power hour assignment? What does that mean? Look from the pilot's power hour.
Getting there. Get back.
Yeah, putting part of 18-1 assignment is power hour work. Have an hour designated where you work on your attack list before the Wednesday flight jam. 30 to 50 on the attack list. That's what Sean just said. Confirming for the phone jam. And that's pretty much it. It's live. And Wednesday, here's the cool thing. You don't need to talk to them live Wednesday. You just spoke to them Tuesday. Didn't you confirm them? So why is it that vector managers love to triple and quadruple confirm people? AKA harass. I've been part of that, by the way. I've raised in that culture where, did you confirm them? But is it the 10th time? Because they're not coming unless you confirm 10 times. In fact, I would say you turn some people away by confirming them 10 times. Now, I'm okay with extra texts over here, group text, hey, one more friendly reminder. You know, I do it all the time, don't I? I'm doing it right now on the WhatsApp with TLA. Friendly reminder. But the live conversation is going to be limited to Tuesday and then Friday, Saturday. Questions or light bulbs? Let's go there. Let's share this for a second. Like it, don't like it, don't understand. What you like about it. Of course you like it. You did it. But we didn't really intentionally do this, and this didn't get intentional until our debrief of the summer. So when we teach PDI, we're not going to, on day 3 or launch, say, hey, everybody, here's when you have to check in the morning. We'll say, no, we'll talk to you live before every phone jam. Tuesday or Friday, Tuesday or Saturday. And we'll talk to you from every appointment, either live or through WhatsApp. Cool? It's also more streamlined. You guys see that? It's more streamlined. Questions, takeaways? You're nodding your head a lot. What do you like? I'm getting a lot
Very
of.
different than normal PI, but it's efficient.
But does it make sense too?
It makes sense.
Like if I just talked to you live on Tuesday and had a meaningful conversation, it's not going to be from 8 to 10. Probably anywhere from 8 to noon, I would say. And that we might even say that. I don't know. Look, I can't remember our notes, but we might say, hey, it's 8 to noon.
It's rolling.
It is rolling. But if I have a 5-7 minute coaching call, PDI, however you describe it with Rhiannon here, I don't need to have another one, but I do want to send a text to just reconfirm. And one thing you go backwards on is if you're going to miss Wednesday phone jam, we need to hear from you by Sunday. If you're going to miss Sunday phone jam, we need to hear from you by Wednesday. So this also gives you an opportunity to say, hey, do you have any conflicts with this weekend? Hey, Rhiannon, last week you missed the Sunday phone jam. We talked about how we're not going to do it like that anymore. So it's Tuesday now. Anything you want to give me a heads up on before I give the final confirmation for Sunday's phone jam? So you can hold people to 3-day advance. Not like some of our TLA members who are texting me at 8 p.m. last night and 2 people today about they need to go virtual. That's not in the rule book. Sorry. 1 week notice. So my conversation with those TLA members are, hey, that's not the agreement. It's already passed. It's not personal. It's not attack. It's just this is how we're going to do it. And TLA met first year, 3 of them. Let's have a conversation. I promise you, those people won't ever wait till the day up to ever respond to anything ever again. And they also won't feel attacked. In fact, they'll feel the opposite when I'm done with it. They'll probably want to buy me dinner because that's what you do. You buy me dinner. All right. By the way, who goes to FSU? El Cocinero tacos.
Where?
El Cocinero on Tennessee.
Oh.
Next to Cypress Restaurant.
What do I go?
Okay.
Wait, no.
Forget it. Never mind.
I mean, I'm down.
Okay, fine. Maybe we accidentally go tonight. Okay. Any questions so far? Okay. Last thing, heads up here. We talked about launching Thursday and Friday. There's 2 versions. This is the version of a schedule if you launch on a Friday. They start selling. Saturday becomes a outgoing PDI. You can be your staff meeting with your local staff, or if you don't have a staff because you're a first-year branch, this becomes planning. Okay. This becomes your 1 to 2 hours of weekly planning. Set your 5. PSP can go here, like early PSPs, and an interview. I don't really like the PSPs here because you might as well just do them all on Sunday. But if your team is massive, you could do some PSPs here. And maybe I put a question mark, I'm not sure. Then Sunday, PSPs, set 10. How come you should set 10? Why not just 5? Hey, you'll way more time. and the big foam gym. Forget fall schedule. Fall schedule, some people don't have anything going on Sunday. The pilot, we have not changed anything on Sunday because I don't want to go into an 8-month habit of no Sundays and then all of a sudden the summer have to turn on. Which leads to the conversation that Andrew and I, you can go ahead, the conversation that Andrew and I had. I'm on Team Andrew in this one. We're not going to go Thursday, Friday. You know this already. We're going to go probably Friday, Saturday. We're going to go Friday, Saturday because there's number one, there's no proof that having an extra day here of sales increases productivity. We were the number one office in the whole country of productivity, and we were launching on Saturdays.
So you're gonna do 2 days.
Friday. Also, we have an extra day of recruiting. When you do a Thursday, you lose a whole day. Imagine, there's no pump in anymore. So imagine if you had no pump in, what would have launched? So we're just gonna go essentially a normal 3-day training, just knock out the first day on Thursday. So now Thursday becomes a lot of your planning and free day and do your thing. So all the stuff that's here in terms of your planning, where you don't have to go to the office, it's just Thursday now. So I kind of like it better because watch, Wednesday team meeting, late night, sleep in on Thursday, or do your text PDI, run errands. You guys seeing that? Now, I'm certainly not opposed to the Thursday, Friday. I spoke to a couple of division managers and the higher powered ones during the summer. Thursday, Friday is good for non-summer, especially in a college football town, right? Because then you don't have train on game day. It's different. That's why it's Thursday, Friday. But on a year-round basis, when I talk to Brian Stevenson, when I talk to Drew Frank, when I talk to when I talk to all the division managers on our already established 2-day training, they all prefer Friday, Saturday for the same reason I do. Not for the free day, because you're going to get a free day either way. It's the recruiting that you don't want to miss on Thursday. What if you could have a 5, 10, 15 sign day, you pump them into Friday? It's an extra 2 to 5 launch. Versus if you don't run that Thursday, everyone who calls in to apply Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday don't get into an interview until Monday. And they don't even have a seminar until the following week. And the show will get really, really good. I like these conversations because you guys, everything I just said, you understand too. Everything I said to a first year, if I said this, they would go over their head. All right. So again, if you're really set on a Thursday, Friday, I actually won't stop you. I'll let you be a smart business person and make your own choices for the districts in here, the ones that are going district. If you're set on Thursday, Friday for whatever reason, we can do that. I just know the advantages: 1 extra day of recruiting. This could be planning day, run your errands day. In fact, this could be the day if you have staff, you don't go in Thursdays. Right? You might text, this is like a Michael Bromwitz thing where you get up, maybe you text your best reps, maybe, and you're running personal for him. He might be doing a grab tomorrow lecture at a school on a Thursday. That's what Thursdays become. Any questions? Okay.
With that Saturday training, would you so you still do the interviews and stuff on Saturday too?
I would not. No. I would do Thursday interviews. I would do a Friday evening interview delegated. Or you could do a Saturday interview but delegated that you would do it. And then Saturday just take PDI. And Sunday as normal. Cool. What's great too is that we have flexibility. Let me be very clear to all my future district managers, which in my world is all of you. We can be flexible with anything. There's nothing that says you have to fill in the blank. It's just that, are you getting the return on the business that you want, and are you living the way that you want to live? And that's fine by me. And are we getting the results that we want as a region too? I mean, that's balanced. Okay. Questions or comments? I'm going to continue to review, and then we'll go back and do this exercise before break. Okay, eyes up. So this is our version of the morning routine that we put together. You remember we went backwards on time, and we even used print to describe one of our fellow colleagues. To coif the hair appropriately. Leave by 7:15, arrive to your office, assuming a 30-minute commute, and then, unless you live in the building above your office, which is kind of cool if you have an apartment above your office. That happens. Not here, I wouldn't want to live here. Then we have Champions Club or whatever version of that at your office. The texting PDI that starts, the Facebook. Here's why I also like the rolling check-in. If there's no check-in Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, if there's no actual check-in, then you're not spending your morning trying to hassle and hound down people to hold them accountable before 10. You're driving your Champions Club, you're driving your Facebooking, and you're driving phone jam. That's the other one. You guys see that? So many times, at least our past business models, so much of our energy is spent policing. You guys know what I mean by that? You can call in, you gotta get, there's a deadline, you have to hold them accountable, and then there's outgoing PDI, you miss PDI mail, you gotta call you back, and it's just, versus rolling PDI Tuesday. I do think we're gonna get this to by noon. We need to talk to everyone by noon on Tuesday. And I wouldn't go into a whole speech, I know some of you party, and I don't talk about that, I just say, hey, by noon on Tuesday, I wanna make sure I'll start as early as 8, all the way till noon. Being really fair, I'm giving you 4 hours to clock in with your job. I'm only asking you to do it twice a week. Is that fair? Manny, you work at Abercrombie though. How often do you have to clock in when you work? Every morning, like when you get there, yeah. So yeah, I'm asking for 2 days by noon. Does that sound fair? Cool. If you have any schedule changes, that's when we can talk about it. Because you need 3-day notice anyway. That's what I like about it too, because you're not getting a lot of last minute things too. Okay, and then planning. It's so funny. I think it's because both of us are influenced by Trent Booth, but Drew Frank from stage at SOC said, and he quoted this. So I really think it's because of Trent Booth. We both go to Trent. 15 minutes a day to look at your planner and plan out what's happening for the immediate day. That probably is woven into your journaling big 3. 1 to 2 hours to plan your week, 2 to 3 hours to plan your month, half a day to plan a campaign or a quarter, a full day to plan out a year, and 1 to 2 days or a weekend retreat, if you will, to plan out your 3, 5, or 10-year plan. Cool. Any questions? How many of you have started versions of this? Okay. Even if you got to this alone is what I expect first years to do this. For you guys, if you can start getting into this, it makes a world of difference. Let me share with you. I did, just because I was so behind with SLC preparation, so busy. So I have every week from now through Christmas. If you want to call December 22nd, I can tell you when I'm free. In fact, I need to with some of this. Okay? And this took about 2 to 3 hours. Oh, ironically enough, that was the flight to Jamaica. So after SOC, after the fun night that the region had in DC, on the way to Jamaica, they're all planned out and on the way back. So all set. Feel real good. Business executive planning, if you will. Any questions or takeaways so far? Okay, so here's what I want to do. Whether you do it in columns, in your notes, maybe you make 7 columns, that might be the best way. And I'm going to ask who feels like they can put a pretty good document together with 7 columns. Anyone? Takers?
Grant is really good at that.
How about everyone take notes anyway? We'll go through each day. So if you remember going back to last prep, by going through the schedule, what were the big takeaways for you? Yeah, well, when we went through this last prep, I'm just copying last prep. What were the takeaways in going through the schedule, fresh off the summer, a month after running your own office? What was helpful?
For me, I just remember looking at it all last year and having absolutely, or like, I guess for us it was pretty much the Phil meeting that we were looking at all this, and I was like, I mean, it's not I didn't understand it, it was just a lot all at once because I hadn't done it, and then now looking at
And what didn't you know how to do? Like, you knew what the schedule meant, but JP didn't know how to do what.
I guess it was more just, I don't really know. I mean, I knew how to do each individual event. It was just seeing how it all played in together, and I guess just learning how to organize it down.
Say that again. To see how everything
just kind of came together.
That's it. It's how it all works together. Another word you could put in there is how to prioritize. Okay. Like what's important for each of those functions and how does it tie into the next? That was the last prep. You could easily watch the video to review that from on YouTube. Here, I want to talk about what should your big 3 be for each day. Now, why will it change? Because situation is the boss, or things that happen each day where maybe you're really low on your recruiting number and that has to take precedence for the day. But in general, if everything were perfect, what are the big 3 outcomes or things that should be happening on a daily basis? this is the perfect template. So let's start there. I need 2 people that I can count on that are going to send me a very structured Word document with 7 columns, or just 7 paragraphs. 2 people who are on computer right now. Reed, thank you, and Luke, thank you. Oh wow, perfect. Huh? That's more than okay. No.
Put them out on Word.
No Excel. All right.
What were we just talking about?
In a loving way. Okay, so let's do this. Let's start with, and this ties into the Kathy video, doesn't it? Let's do that for a second. Pull up your, at the same time, pull up your debrief notes. We'll just do it together. Pull your debrief notes. I'm missing notes from 1 person, and about 6 of you were late. 4 of you were late. We'll address it one-on-one later. If you notice, I put in red, the only one thing I put in red is your fire number. Nothing moves that we found out this summer. Nothing moves your business more than when you set the right people, because you'll get the better show from those top 10 lists. Because when you have better people in front of you, everything tends to get a lot easier in terms of production. So keep that in mind. What were some takeaways from Kathy's video in regards to managing reps? And by the way, she spoke at SLC on that video. Like, that was her talk, but on an SLC format, detailed stage. That's going to be one of the assignments from now until only is to watch that when the video comes out. I'll set it down. Killer talk. If you took the YouTube you watched, on steroids. No pun intended. What'd you take away? Sean?
Representatives don't create activity unless you create plan. Like, they won't be kind of
Exactly. And what happens after 10 days of doing it, it becomes a habit, or hopefully. What else stands out from this video that you guys all watched so engaged? You know, Sean wasn't the only one that watched it. It's for us.
Reps are like, it's what she said. It's like reps are like little delicate eggs. You're getting them from one basket to the other, so you have to like make sure they don't break in between each.
It's true. How about some key phrases, or also okay, mainly?
Like ultimately, what you want is to retain all the reps and stuff like that.
Right, and Karina's going to talk about this in the first year prep. You might not know this if you don't. This is something really important to remember. A rep's career sales, 50% of their sales come in their first 10 days, in general, and 50% of their first 10 days comes their first weekend. So think about that for a second. If your average rep fast start productivity, the pilot, our rep productivity was $2,000. About $2,000, over $2,000. So that means over $1,000 was happening. It might be higher. So if your rep first 10-day productivity is $2,000, or your average career sales, let's say, is $3,000, that's high. That means 1,500 of the 3 probably came in fast start, and 750 of the 3 came Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Okay, yes, sir.
So with that said, really easy way to think about it is people always ask, so they like make it super complicated and how to increase PPR and things like that. You want to increase PPR, increase your first weekend.
That's it.
So if you want 4,000 PPR plus, then get 1,000 first weekend per head on average for a training class, which means work on your training seminar.
Yeah, and that's not this prep, but if you've heard it or been around the block enough, there's a list of, most of it, Drew Frank, there's a list of things that impact first weekend. Let's just shout out a few. Well, what impacts high first weekend so that everyone comes back with $1,000 to $2,000? Okay, so demos per head should be how many leaving the training? 10 plus. Good. What else? This is not this talk, but this you should know this. Read. Yeah, who are the demos with? It's not your best. It's not your most comfortable 5. It's your best 5. What does that mean? Most likely to buy, not just see you. What else? So focus 5. That's a big one. What else is important when it comes to first weekend pop? Go ahead. Emotional management. Kathy talked about that. What do you mean?
With the reps, you gotta just keep emphasizing law of averages.
Okay, so 3 things you emphasize first weekend. Law of averages. What else? This is not this talk, but it's good. Kathy said one thing. On Sunday, you don't say, hey, it's going to be a better day today. It's a new day. It's a new day. Okay, because why don't you want to say it's going to be a better day? Because just in case it's not. What's something you should always refer to first weekend when you talk about PDI? It should always come up in every conversation. Say it, JP. Yeah, JP. First homemaker, man. Okay, not big yet. That's what I did. Not a big sale yet. In fact, that's just doing the job. You should probably start saying that, by the way. That's Monday's conference call. I mean, you're doing the job, nice, but hey, you haven't even had advanced training yet. That will teach you how to sell big stuff. What does that do? Increases confidence in what?
Yeah.
What does it increase confidence in when you say you haven't even had advanced training yet? Yeah, hey, the events are going to get better. You're still going to get better. What does it do when you say, hey, you haven't even, hey, JP homemaker, hey, not a big sale yet, doing the job, nice job, but let me show you. Wait till Monday. What does that do? Bree?
I know in the video she stressed the more you do this weekend, the more you're going to get out of each one. So we don't just wait to do a demo.
Yeah, it's not about hitting a number. It's about lots of experience. So Monday's better for you. There you go. It shapes and molds thinking. I'm on the Tampa group, right? Tampa, I'm on Pilot, and I'm on Stillwater. And I didn't respond because it was too late. It was past the when Jeff responds time. But someone in Tampa sold a homemaker, and someone put a bunch of flames. And I was so I was waiting. Like, come on, Jackson, Brandon, Carlos, Reed, come on. And no, maybe it was late. Maybe someone missed it. It wasn't a big deal. But I have a whole. That's not fire. It's doing the job. And you know how I roll. But see, when you have conversations, JP homemaker. Okay, cool. Hey, not big yet. Doing the job right though. Nice job. How do you feel about getting that sale? Yeah, you haven't even had advanced training. We're creating the doing the job culture. Ironically enough, that's Monday's conference call. This Monday, doing the job culture. This Monday's conference call at what time? 4:15, because you knew that, not because I'm going to send a text tomorrow, right? Yeah. Okay, go. Okay. Because it's already in your planner. Other first weekend tidbits for how do you get big first weekend, Sean?
Get a spokesperson. So like your kids calling from demos.
Yeah. What's another term for spokesperson? It's an animal. Say it. Say it. Rabbit. Get your rabbit. Who's out of the gates fast? Versus the tortoise, right? Tortoise, say a rabbit. Too soon? Too old? Too young? Eddie.
Another one is the for AT1, you can't say wait till Monday to learn everything because they'll literally wait for Monday. You can type it up to like, oh, you're gonna learn so much more, like just not even sweat it. You're like, oh, just wait.
Yeah. So do more appointments because the more experience you get, it'll be better for you. Good. Other debriefs from the video, not just first weekend. Totally
To add on to that, Kathy had a really good line. She said everything you learn in AT1 is going to be awesome, but it will all go to waste if you don't have appointments.
So what's the underlying theme? Get everyone to on the whole, get everyone doing appointments and to advance training. What was up with Sunday when Kathy was talking about Sunday? Assuming a Saturday launch, what happens on Sunday morning before noon or 1? Herman talks about this. Kathy did the video. What happens Sunday before 12 or 1? That actually didn't happen in the pilot as much as we want. Outgoing PDI with what themes? And if you don't have this in your notes, this is worth getting down. So Sunday, they've had a full day of selling Saturday. Sunday is the new day, right? Not a better day. It's the new day. So what are some of the themes of that Sunday outgoing live PDI? New day. What else?
New day, check in, get on the phone.
Yeah. How about check in on what they didn't do right the first day? Hey, Maddie, can I give you a tip? Yeah, yesterday I heard from you. Remember that second appointment? Yeah, when did you call? Yeah, after. So what's important today? Yeah, from every appointment. Good. I want that either the live call or that WhatsApp, please. So you're troubleshooting Sunday. New day. What else happens Sunday morning when you talk to people that just launched? Yeah, what's your plan? Tell me about your day and your schedule. What should be in the Sunday schedule that if you did already training, that should have it already put into their schedule Sunday, besides appointments? Phone jam. Hey, Maddie, open up your planner for me. See, this is how I say it. This is how you guys sometimes say it. Hey, Amelia, do you have your Sunday phone jam in there? 6:30. Cool. You just got what I called right, David Delgado? Yeah, Yeah, Mom. Did you clean your room? Versus, Mailer, real quick, pull out your training manager schedule. Cool. Go to Sunday. Yeah, what's really important today? What do you have in your schedule for today? And walk through it. What do you have tonight at 6:30? Nothing. When you fill it in. Now, what are you also doing? 81 confirmation. What's a Micah Brown's best practice, oldie but really great goodie? To drive appointments. Arrive with 5. There should be a contest. Hey, don't forget, Maddie, this is an arrive with 5. How many appointments do you have set for after advanced training? Because, man, when I teach you that stuff, watch out. Any questions so far? Good. So let us do this. Under each one, let's assume a Saturday launch. Let's assume a Saturday launch. Okay. I want you to write down what you think should be the big 3 for Saturday. What are your big 3 priorities? This is the schedule, what needs to get done. This drives the business, recruiting and sales. What are your big 3 focus points, assuming you launch on Saturday? What's your version of big 3? Outcomes. My first big 3 on Saturday is to make sure that blank happens. Why?
Assuming you launched on Saturday.
Oh, so we launch on Saturday. Why is that important? Don't worry about the why. So either write the outcome or the action step that's important for your big 3 for Saturday. And we'll share. So what's the obvious? Assuming you're launching on day 3. If you're launching on day 3, what are you running on day 3? On Saturday? Training. Okay, so what has to be a big 3?
Getting a lot of people in.
Yeah. So anything related to training. What else? What else did you guys write that's outside of?
So I said like if they do the first demos that night.
So what's an important big 3 to make sure you get what done? That's right. What's important? What's important on day 3? If they're launching on that evening doing demos, what's important? Yeah, to manage your PDA reps. Any other ones outside of that?
I put helping everyone get their first sale in specifically.
Okay, good. That's more specific. So ready? Number 1?
100 plus minutes.
100 plus PR names. Number 2 related to training.
10 demos ahead.
Mm-hmm. For launch. Number 3, PDI your team. Specifically, a launch. Any other add-ons or dispute? Okay. Anyone opposed to speak now or forever? Hold your peace. I want to see the movie Maid of Honor, Patrick Dempsey.
Yes.
Watch that. Sunday, assuming you launch on Saturday. What's that? It's a rom-com where his BFF is a girl.
And then he crashes the wedding.
Real funny. You can tell who has a girlfriend you've been forced to watch these. They're great. Sunday. Sunday, assuming we launched on Saturday, write down what you think should be the big 3 for Sunday. Yes. No. Loser. Launch. Big 3 for Sunday, assuming the Saturday launch. What are the 3 most important things that the outcomes and actions that need to get done? So that if there's no major outside circumstances, when you WhatsApp Jeff, me, next year, hey Jeff, it's Sunday, my big 3 for today is, or are. My big 3 are. My single one is. Sorry. If I speak in the good English. Okay, big 3.
You could say big 3 is though.
the big three is.
Yeah.
My big three are.
Yeah.
Okay, give me a big three for Sunday. Sean.
So PDI and team.
Yeah, that's definitely one. PDI team. It's both launch and old team. So what are we doing with the old team? What's happening here? Yeah, texting, confirming. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be live. Why? When did the live happen? Friday or Saturday?
Yeah, you don't want to.
Yeah, if
You don't want to be confirming for Sunday on Sunday.
Yeah, you're just getting people hyped up, reminders. Yeah, I would call it the hype up and the reminders. Good. Who put something, a second one, something that's different for Sunday? What else is happening Sunday? 3. Yes. With the third one. Yep, that's it. Phone jam. 5 per rep. And what was the last one we just said? Fire number. How many? And 7 plus.
Say 6 to 7 ahead.
So we're talking about phone number.
For phone jam?
Yeah, phone jam 6.
Phone jam should be 6 to 7. Maybe 5 early for phone.
You know that high PPR.
That's how you get 5 kPPR. Yeah.
One extra a week.
What let's go around the horn. Let's do this. Ready? We always promote year round that getting 5 demos per rep at a phone jam is solid. And this is solid. In the pilot, that wouldn't have been solid.
Yeah,
in your office either, when you have a $4,000 or $5,000 PPR. Not usually. What are some elements that go into reps having 6 to 7 demos set versus 5? What increases production at a major Sunday Wednesday phone jam? Yeah, tackless. So what are some techniques and systems we have in place to make sure that happens right? What's one system?
Well, what we did over the summer was a check-in. Sort of thing where it kind
Okay,
of
ready?
like-
Good. That's exactly it. The way you check into a phone jam, you have to show your tackle. Go backwards. What's another way to make sure the production for phone jam?
PDI days before.
Yeah, so Tuesday PDI is strong. And what are you specifically referencing on Tuesday? 2 things. Someone said it. Power hour. So did you do your hour? When was your hour to work on your phone attack list? And you're about to say it. Okay. And then are you working on your assignment? What's your assignment? 30 to 50 new people on your attack list. Good. Let's go Monday. Big 3 for Monday. Put down your big 3 for Monday. Let's go around the horn. What are some things you wrote down for big 3 for Monday? Fire number, rep driven. Rep driven, I would say, is part of fire number. You're right. So a good rep driven session to get your 5. So fire number. 5 plus. 2 more. This will be interesting to see what you guys think the next 2 are.
Having a specific goal to drive your team to.
Okay.
So driving the
Driving the sales goal.
Yeah, that's strong to report page. I thought for AT1, it's kind of like where you really lay down with the silent triple threat culture.
Okay, that's a good one too. Like, these are all right. These are all important things on Monday. Anything else? Okay, creating demos. We have to narrow it down to 3. So driving phone jams, creating the right assignment culture, driving the Monday sales report. That's all productivity. What are we missing? So what's got to be a big 3? We said 5. But what's got to happen?
I sign them.
Yeah, you got to sign people. Ideally, every day you're signing how many in the summer? Ideally, don't say 20, 30. I know. 10, double digits.
20, 30.
Because if you do this right, watch. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you sign 10. You sign 10, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, so you sign another 10 collectively.
Boom, that's it. 40, 20, and
That's 30 to 40 set for training. We call that magic number. Okay. What's a proper show to training? What percent? If you screw up, what's the bare minimum? 40 is the number. If you're not getting 40, you need to fix something. Yeah, 50 is about. It's 15 to 20 in. When we launch.
Probably 10 to 15.
That's if you get 30 to 40. What if you get half of that? You can run a 200K branch on launching 5 to 7.
Yeah,
Luke did it.
My office, we did Silver Cup, like 340K. I never had a training class that launched more than 8 kids. 8 was my biggest.
Yeah. So this is
8 was my biggest all-star.
In ideal scenario, you're signing 10. Watch. Ideal.
Dang.
Never had more than 30 kids at the training ever.
Sign 10 per day. Monday through Wednesday. Sign 10 Thursday through Sunday. That gets you 30 to 40 set for training, 15 to 20 in training, 10 to 15 launch. You do this, you're competing on the 4, 5, 6 range. You really are. You should be in the top 10 competitive nationally, top 20, 10, 20%. You go half of that, you should still be knocking on the door of top 20 for sure in the top half of the company. If you're just launching the right 5 to 8 recruits out, 5 to 8. I'm not talking about 5 to 8 super prep school. My dad's a doctor, I'm talking about just B and up. You got to be careful not to be too selective. There's a danger in how well our division did, and we talk about quality. We can't forget that. And if you look at the pilot, even we had a really sharp team, but we had a lot of Bs on the team after the initial surge in the summer. You have to really pay attention to that. Okay, so sign number, and then I would say drive the sales report.
Yes.
Although it is important, to Eddie's point, to set an assignment culture to make sure people know that they do power hour and set 30 to 50 on their attack list. I mean, that's all important, but if you're at Kirsten, Grant, David, and Luke will appreciate this. If you're at $72,000 on Monday, you gotta drive it to 100K. It's the first Monday to push, right?
I think you when figure out the big 3 for each day, you just gotta focus on what is actually moving the needle on your business. Like a culture thing is not a big 3 thing. Does it make sense? So typically you giving some talk usually most of the time a cult something that's impacting the office and something that's doing the environment, it's not gonna be part of your big 3 because unless you have a serious problem, right? Because it's not moving the needle on your business. So if you look at every single day 3, it's all numbers things or something specific.
Tangible.
100 PRs, 10 demos ahead, make sure everyone gets their first sale. Another day is 5 plus PPR set per manager, drive the sales report a little bit higher, and then sign 10 double digits.
Yeah, it'd be really interesting. Can I use your example? It'd be really interesting to go back and listen to Delilah's first big 3s in May versus what they were later this summer versus what they are now. I specifically remember a lot of first year branches. My big 3 for today is to make sure my reps have a lot of fun. And it was a lot of that stuff. Or just to create, I've heard that, not just you. Today, one of my big 3s is to create culture at my team meeting. That is not a smart business person response to big 3. There's no specific outcome. Now, your big 3s lately are way different, but it's also 1 year experience. It's the difference. Now, your big 3s when you're doing them before Jamaica. Hey, today, my goal is to make sure I have this one specific, to make my 4 p.m. workout. That's pretty specific. To make sure I have my 4 p.m. workout because I need it, whatever that means for her. That's specific. Whatever that was, it a class or something?
Yeah.
Okay. See the difference? Good. Tuesday. Write down what you think should be the big 3 to drive the schedule and results on Tuesday. On a Tuesday. a rap song, isn't it?
Yeah.
I can quote that, but I don't even know what song that is. Is that Drake? Kendrick Lamar?
No.
Future? Weekend?
No.
Monthly? Past?
Who does that?
On the weekend. Young Jock?
Is it?
Young Jeezy? No, Young Jeezy from ATL? Trap? Home with T.I. and Outkast? Andre 3000?
You're searching it too.
I really think it might be
And ready, while we're at it, do Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. What would you imagine to be the big three?
Oh, it's I Love McCoven.
Oh, of course.
What is it?
I Love McCoven.
Around 1% can use it. Around 1% can use it.
Yeah. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
So many days.
So many days. So little time. What's that?
How many days is that? Like 8, 9?
Yeah, something like that. In a week? 12? I guess it depends on the week.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm on a month. 14.
Andrew, I love what you've done here, please.
Are you being sarcastic?
No, I like it.
Wait, really? I mean, yeah. Still pretty rough.
Okay.
I like
It's
the
okay.
Brent voice on your
Yeah.
Can I join?
Sorry, they've been here before. They're pretty much so far gone. Wow, that sounds awesome. What was the stuff is office?
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Remember the guy that was like,
Jackie's my favorite.
there was a guy in an interview that's like, I love all these fake photos you guys put up here of all these fake people. We're like, what?
Chance. What you said?
Yeah.
Oh, Chance, the fake names.
Yeah, the fake names.
Kids actually crazy.
Remember that crazy guy? Yeah, you know the one.
Chance. Yes.
Okay, ready? Tuesday. What's important for Tuesday? So we've got the interviews, strong PDI. Eddie, what's one?
Like PDI for team meeting confirmations, making sure that I know these.
That's a given to the schedule, right?
Yeah.
80%. So PDI, confirmation.
You should have 80% plus a team meeting.
80%.
Yeah, Luke and I actually spoke about this. Tuesday, you should get 80% of your team. Whoever you don't speak to live Tuesday, that's Wednesday live.
Yeah, like that's like the
That's the scoop up Wednesday live. And then everyone else can get a mass text. Hey, just like we talked about yesterday on our one-on-one calls, big phone gym contest tonight, putt for dough. Don't forget, have your tack list ready for check-in with Kirsten and David at the door. However you want to WhatsApp your way into confirmation. Give me two more. What would be a big sign double digits? What do you have? Fire number. What else?
I said sign 10 again, and then I put the third one. I said, I don't really know the name for it. I just wrote down Surge Recruiting, and I put in parentheses like steroids or fire number. So like Tuesday's that day where you have like usually more have more time in between. So that's like the day where you are doing something that's also like usually driving recruiting. So either fire number or like I remember for me and Luke, at least at the beginning of the summer, it was like cranking out like 7 to 8 steroids every Tuesday.
Okay, situations the boss. Great example. I would agree. Still sign 10 plus on the low end, but you have to adjust. Meaning whatever you need to do to adjust. Just like we just had a first quarter review of how we're doing. By Monday, you'll know how you're doing. Okay, we signed 1 on Monday. Oh, that's an emergency. So we can't sign 10 today. We need to try and find a way to sign 15 to 20 to make up. You're adjusting. We had a terrible rep-driven session on Monday, so I need to triple threat with my team again and call Kirsten Casey, who's got all these friends of hers who've been trying to get in. We haven't gotten in yet. I'm going to bring her into the office, create a contest, and we're going to three-way text all of her friends now to sign 2 to 3 tonight, 2 to 3 tomorrow. So you adjust your recruiting here. Give me a third one on Tuesday. What's a third outcome that's important for Tuesday? So we want to sign 10, and Andrew's term is surge recruiting. And then PBI, besides these two first. Any other guesses? What did you guys write down? And if you're a virtual land, feel free to chime in. Okay, Andrew.
Yeah, I was gonna say PCs. It's the other day that you do. Like like a third thing that I would do on a Tuesday if I wasn't doing one of those two things is PCs.
I agree. In your situation, most of you won't run a lot of PCs. The offices with staff can run PCs. When you're a branch, which most of you are first time in an office, you won't have an assistant. You may or may not really have that time. So I would put down fire number. And then a fourth one, if you have staff, or if you yourself are not having to do a lot of this with the staff, then I would say productivity and PCs. And who are the most important people? Not you, because we just came from SLC. Who are the most important people to PC top down? Who do you start with? If you have to prioritize and you only had, let's say you have 50 people in your team, you only have spots for 10. Who gets those 10? AM's first. AM's first, then who? You go high-low. Good. Wednesday. They just already put fire.
We're assuming Friday, Saturday training?
Yes. Assuming a Friday, Saturday training.
Sure.
What would it have been if it was Thursday?
Training confirmation.
Confirmation calls, right. I think that's going to go under Thursday. Confirmation calls.
It's a new thing, by the way, for which you guys probably didn't do that. So.
Yeah, we didn't
do that.
Sorry.
We did at the end.
Fire number. How about Wednesday? Fire number. Yep, sign. 10 plus. And there's one more. Double digit phone jam, or the average, right?
Yeah,
6 to 7 ahead.
7.
So phone jam, 7 per head, and I would say higher for sure. And that Angel Luke, I think we just talked about this. So if the average is for a phone jam are 6, how come it goes up on Wednesday? And it should always be higher on Wednesday. Who can tell me why? Think just logically for a second. Why should Wednesday always have a higher average than Sunday? If not, something's wrong.
Training class. The training class has all those numbers that are
The training class has an assignment of brand new, fresh name. Your training class should be averaging 8, 9, 10 ahead.
10.
Was it 10? Yeah.
Yeah, if their training class comes in on Wednesday and they're not getting 10 ahead, that's really when we had big phone gyms, it's because we'd have 20 people in there with 10, all getting 10 plus demos, and then everyone else got like 5 or so. That's how you get the 7 average, is because you've got some people. Most of your average team probably getting about 5. The rest of the team, though, your new cut group is all getting 9 to 10 plus because they came with the assignment. But if you don't do the assignment, they average like 5 to 6, just like the rest of the team, because they didn't come in there with like 50 names.
Anyone understand? Give me a light bulb if you know what that means. You understand? Okay, cool. Thursday, confirmation calls. Give me 2 more for Thursday. Let's assume this is Thursday, no training, on a 2-day training. You could say sign double digits, but remember, eyes up here real quick. We talked about sign 10 plus, 10 plus, 10 plus, and 10 for the rest of the weekend. So you could put this here. What could compete for Big 3 on Thursday on this model? Look, what could compete?
Confirmation calls, moneymaker phone jam.
Yeah, Makeup phone jam could be on there to hit your number. Yeah, ready? You're a priority today. Reset. This might be for some of you. You might choose. I don't need a day off on Tuesday, Thursday, but that's a great time now that we just had the training's about to happen. The phone jam, biggest phone jam just happened. Let's have our staff meeting on Thursday. I personally don't care when you have your staff meeting. You could have it on Thursday. We did ours on Monday. I like Monday because after the report. Thursday is good because it's after the phone jam. You could argue Thursday is better than Monday because it's right before training and it's right after the bulk of your phone jams. Really. This is you planning. This is you recharging. This is you getting a mani-pedi. Luke, Andrew, mani-pedi. Or like in Prague, the little fishies that bite your feet, man.
Oh, I love those little fishies.
Wait, really? Wait, what?
They
You don't know those?
piranhas.
It's the pedicure that you put your feet in. eat the dead skin off you.
That's real. That's real.
You've never heard of that?
That's the most wonderful thing I've ever heard.
It's amazing. It tickles.
Yeah.
What else?
It's
What else is under the U?
known thing.
Training agreements.
Yeah. Ready? Prepping. Prepping for your what?
You said haircuts.
Haircuts.
Number one hardest thing to do during the summer. Get a haircut.
Go to the beach.
I guess he wants 2 weeks shoots.
See, here's one thing I really want. This is a slight tangent. Drew gave a message to the DVMs, Drew Frank. Then I followed his message, and without coinciding, we had essentially the same slide and the same talk, same thing. Is that as a division manager, we run 5 businesses. I run a pilot business that generates $1 to $150,000 plus in income for me and blank amount of revenue. I have a district manager business. I have a CSP FSM business. I have a TLA development business, and the most important business is the Jeff Gamboa Incorporated, me. So how am I working myself? And same thing with you. You guys are all running businesses here. You guys remember the 80%? The 80% story I tell. Navy SEAL training, John Oberg, run 80% up the hill.
Oh, yeah.
Only 80%, 80%. Now go 100. You're puking. What's the rule? What's the lesson? You can do a lot of things at 80%, but when you try to go 100% of the time, you're miserable. What's that mean? Well, it's okay to take back a little bit of the 20%. There is a version of 100% in our company. About 6 weeks. You guys are ready? 6 to 8 weeks. Beyond that, then you start getting burnout, or I'm tired, or yeah. But I would even say for me, the longest and hardest I worked was the beginning with Luke. Through SC1 push. After SC1 push, my schedule pulled back. Now, the times you did see me, Luke, in the Alliance is just because I really couldn't stay away from that office. It was fun. But my schedule did not have me running anything SC2. But when you see Abraham with that Oreo eating that, I can't believe
I'll
that.
never unsee that.
I have to see that forever.
Wait, so you said pilot business?
Okay, ready? Pilot, DMs, FSM CSP, that's one. Like the CSP business. That includes CGC, Realtor, all that. Your TLA development. And then yourself. These are 5 different income streams. And a lot of people say, I want to run something outside of Cutco so I have different income streams. How about you manage the 5 income streams there?
So can we go over the ones for that if you're a brand? Businesses you have?
Yeah, we can at the end. Remind that. Okay. Conference calls. Here's what's really cool. Here's also under the banner of you. There's a divisional conference call at 10 a.m. Right, there's a divisional conference call. So you might sleep in on Thursday. Now, I would say if you're running the right branch schedule, sleeping in is 8 o'clock, 8:30, 9 o'clock. You're up. That's a good sleep in.
That sounds awesome. That sounds good.
Yeah. Think about the summer if you woke up at 8, how that would feel.
I did one day.
Yeah, remember?
There's like I
feel like a new woman, right?
Remember when we thought Luke was dead that one day?
Oh yeah, Luke. He goes, I just woke up. Oh, and we all went.
I woke up like an hour late.
Oh, where's Luke?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I called your mom. I called your mom.
Call my mom. I'm getting like text from my parents and Emily. Where is he? I'm like 8:15.
Jeff's
Because you're never late.
well, we were always there at 7 or 7:30.
Anyway.
Jeff's like, nobody panic. Kirsten, relax. It'll
I
be
said,
fine.
no
I'm
one
like,
panic.
I was fine until you told me not to panic.
No, I
and
called you. I
was like-
said, don't panic. And now I'm panicking. No, I'm panicking too. Then I called your mom.
I was fine until you told me not to panic.
Friday.
8:15.
Ready? What is to happen with training on Friday? What's the big 3 for training outcome? On a 2-day training.
First day training.
2-day training. What's a tangible outcome you need for training? Well, that's here.
Yeah, that's it.
That's confirmation. What's Friday?
Shadows.
Yeah.
At least 5.
5 demos. Training. 5 demos per rep. Maybe 2 more.
Benchmark PDI.
Yep. So PDI. Benchmark. And I like that, do it in the morning. What I would do is on Thursday, on my U day, on my planning day, after the divisional conference call, I would map out who my benchmark PDI is going to be already. So it's already good. It's good for Friday. You could even start some of those. You could even start some of those benchmark combos on Thursday night.
No goose eggs.
No goose eggs, no zero. Okay, what's the third outcome for Friday? I mean, you want to sign.
I would say maybe during the summer, hit up Champions Club or High Flyer Workshop.
Let's do one.
I'd say setting up High Flyer Workshop like attendance maybe.
I would say the High Flyer Workshop execution. That's going to set the tone.
Well, I'd say set up on Friday.
Also,
We're talking about day one.
Oh, sorry.
So I'd say that's probably like the two things when they leave training. What do you want to have accomplished? Probably 5 demos ahead. You want to have confidence. That's not like I wouldn't call that big 3. Make sure they're confident, but I'd say like attendance, setting up attendance for tomorrow morning.
I like that. You have thought?
PSP confirmations.
That's part of benchmark. I would call it. Yeah, I would agree. We're just lumping that, but you are right. I would also change this. Yes, sign is important. But if someone told me, Jeff, I signed 0 people Thursday through Saturday the whole summer, but I always got 30 signed Monday through Wednesday, I would be really okay with that. I would say this is where you really have to plan. Like it might be a recharge. You might be doing something personal. You might be something that's going to recharge you in your life. But really planning on Thursday. It could be a staff meeting. It's post-district conference call. Everyone here will be on this call. The new branches will be on Wednesday. The first year non-NLG. I'll stop there. Take a look, process it. I'm assuming I'm going to get some really good documents over here.
We get a third for Friday.
Third.
Benchmark the DI.
We didn't get a third one.
Dinner.
For us. PSM 101 epic dinner. Every weekend.
Tomorrow.
I mean, it's probably pretty minor, but it was something I always tried to do in the office that felt at least made my life more comfortable, and I guess everyone else. But before we did it on Saturday, obviously, but before we left, we made sure everything was ready for Sunday to be like walking, fully execute,
Red zone.
just like making I don't know,
Yeah,
organization.
office reset.
Just
Yeah.
full office reset.
We call it red zone, office red zone, but that could be one. What would be a really good? Let's try to come to an agreement here. So driving your first day 1 trainees to get 5 demos per head on their phone jam. Benchmark PDI, which includes firming up for Sunday, and also the team finishing strong 1, 3, 6, 10K up there in blue.
Oh,
Eddie, you have one?
Well, we did when everyone launched. We had everything written in the book. We used WhatsApp for our PDI, making sure all the systems were in place.
Okay.
Saturday. No, Friday or Saturday?
Saturday.
Well, yeah, it's Friday.
You could argue, and his point is make sure on Friday before you leave everything for Saturday and Sunday set up. You don't have to.
I wouldn't call it a big 3.
Another big 3? What else would you add for big 3? That's a good point, though.
Yeah, if there's no third one, that's a good thing.
Is there anything else you'd put in? How about those of you that have run an office before?
On Friday?
Would you try to do a pump in on Saturday? Like, would you try to run an interview Friday, was day 1, and then pump into Saturday? Or?
No, that's a debate we've been having about can you run a pump in. I don't think a pump in happens on a 2-day. Not how one major.
I'd rather have them come next week and have a chance. There's like a very strong chance.
How about I would say sign. Make sure you're getting something going on with recruiting through the Thursday through Saturday.
So move the needle recruiting situation.
Yeah, recruiting adjust. Same thing. Okay. We'll take a little Torah. Go through this. I'm just curious, what's everyone taking away from this? Oh, snap.
I mean, for the people who want to branch out, it's kind of just already setting up what you need to do, so there's no question. When you get to that point, there's no questions being asked.
That's 60%.
I can't see.
One more time. I'm sorry.
It's okay. For the people that haven't run an office yet, it gives you what your big things to do every single day, so there's no question, there's clarity when you wake up every
And I
morning.
think for those of you that are going to get on this strategy, 80% of you will, 100% of you will start it. 20% of you will fall off in the first week or two, and about half it will stick. This has been the tradition every year of doing Big 3 with me. Big 3 with me is you'll WhatsApp me as a manager before 7:30 a.m. It could be as early as you want. It could be the night before. Usually, I want morning of. It's always interesting. I can tell who's doing it because I can tell who's also not getting up. That's usually about half the reason why people fall off. So I'll get a Big 3. Hey Jeff, Eddie, Big 3 for the day is blank, blank, and blank. Here's what I'm going to do to make sure it happens. And it has to be within 15 seconds.
Unless you're Michael Brown was.
But, he gets it in.
He does?
Yeah.
I thought you said you accepted it.
Oh, you mean his length of? Oh yeah. I'll let Mike go. Is that Rugrats? Okay. So you'll send me your Big 3 15 seconds or less. If it's over 15 seconds, I don't even listen to it. I just send a response too long message. Get it back. If it's past 7:30, I also say too late and I don't respond. So what's happening is you're already creating almost a PDI with me without having to get a live call and spend too much time. And who's done it with me before, Big 3? I'll respond. What are some of the things you'll get from my responses? What happens when I respond? What's helpful when we get that exchange?
If your Big 3 is a little bit off, trying to correct us.
Yeah, I'll say, hey, Dalila, I was looking at your numbers. You know what? I think number 3 should be blank instead because you're really behind on your sales report. So I would focus on X, Y, and Z. And between 7:30 a.m. and 8:30 or 8:15, I respond to every person that left me with Big 3 in the morning. All this summer will be probably 25 to 30 plus of you. Okay. Take a look. What else? So Kirsten, thanks for your feedback. What else are you taking away? Even vets, current multiple branches, DOMs. If you run an office, any of them. Who's run an office before? Yeah, what are you taking from this?
I mean, this exercise gave me more clarity than most any other scheduling exercise we've done. Just think it long.
I like it a lot as well. A lot. A little lot. Sean.
Just realize the things that actually move the business. You know, if you get those 3 things done each day, that's
You know, in my mind, I'm gonna have a laminated sheet with this, whatever Luke and I'm gonna have it. Blow it up, you guys I have on your desk, and when you leave your Big 3 in the morning, ideally from either your place where you're journaling in the morning at home, or when you get to the office first thing, I want you to be able to look at that Big 3 and say, wow, what I just told Jeff has nothing to do with this Big 3. I need to fix this. I want everyone to feel good today. We're gonna have a lot of fun in our meeting, and I want to rock my motivational talk. I can tell you our team meetings were just our team meetings were great, but it was never a focus. Our theme for the Thursday Champions Club was great, but it wasn't a major focus. What was major focus is what got major business. And this is it for the most part. Read.
For me, it's where to channel this energy.
Yeah, where to spend your time. Raise your hand if you run an office. Keep it up if you've run an office and you look back, even looking at this and go, man, I really spent a lot of energy doing things that didn't move the business. Me too. When should some of that stuff happen? Either never or before summer. So it really leads to the discussion of how organized are you before you go in. I'll end with this. Our division manager version of that is, are you putting together your TLA prep agendas the week of? Or are you fine-tuning them? There's a difference. I mean, they're division managers, newer ones, they're creating their templates 1 or 2 weeks out versus for me, I'm taking multiple templates and just adjusting. Most of our DVM teams do that. It's the same thing with you. Are you getting things organized ahead of time? Are training manuals in place for training? Do you have a every week inventory check? That's stuff that takes away from the business. Any questions? Strong session. Good instruction. It is now 12:15 exactly. I would love it if you guys, wherever you got lunch, bring it back here so I know that we're all back. Does that work? So is it safe to say, because it's across the street, can everyone get back here within 30 minutes?
Yeah.
Yes. So we'll be eating 12:45 and then ready a couple of things before we break so we don't do it later. Thanks for a strong session today. I need people at every hub. So David, I'll put you in charge at that hub. Mr. Danny, I'll put you in charge in the Clearwater hub of when first years get to the hub. I'd like you to check off their assignments. Okay? So can I get that?
No queso.
Yes, cool.
Brandon, Denny, you cool with that? Thumbs up, Brandon, and thumbs up, David. Okay. So when just take a look at the WhatsApp, the one from yesterday. Those are the things I want checked off. And I want, for example, CVI. I want the name of the person, their CVI on the next column, their love language, top 2 love languages, or 3, 1 or 2 usually. I want, what else am I checking? Yeah, there's stuff that's discussion, like journaling. Oh, I want them to show you their 1 month budget, their monthly budget. Some of you need to do it before 1:15. Arrival is between 1:15 and 1 and 1:15. Okay, I even posted 1:15 late, and we're gonna start role playing the PR approach at 1:30. Okay, opening comments at 2. Any questions? So I need you guys to help facilitate that. If you know someone's on their way, like, hey, the directions are 1:15 is late. 1:16 is late. Okay, and then Brandon and David, you can send me those results after. Good session. Thanks, everybody. Okay. Back here by 12:45.
Hey, Jeff.